Hello, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. So, we are live again. So, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for joining this live streaming. And this is going to be the last session of mine. So, let me have a look on the comment section and then we can proceed. First of all, I want to welcome Reem ma'am. Thank you for joining, Reem ma'am.
Always welcome.
Okay, guys. So, we will be starting the live streaming. Let me have a look on the comment section. थैंक यू री मैम, आपने डिपॉजिट बैनर्स ऑलरेडी सेंड किया है। रेबल सर ने ऑलरेडी $50 डिपॉजिट कर दिए हैं। थैंक यू सर।
हाँ, अभी जस्ट उनका मैंने क्लियर कराया था।
या थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू। दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द लास्ट चांस फॉर एवरी वन ऑफ यू। आपको मेरे बैनर से डिपॉजिट करना है तो आप कर दीजिए, ठीक है। इसके बाद आपको मेरा बैनर नहीं मिलेगा, तो प्लीज़ आप शेयर करें, क्लिक करके आप डिपॉजिट कर दीजिए, ठीक है। एंड हम स्टार्ट करेंगे सेशन। Guys, please, we do have a signal on this trade account. Yes, we can do that, but we can do prediction as compared to signals. तो हम prediction कर सकते हैं, signals मैं आपको नहीं दे सकती। तो गाइस प्लीज ज्वाइन करें, वेट कर रही हूँ मैं आप लोगों का। आई एम सो सॉरी, हमने थोड़ा लेट सेशन स्टार्ट किया है, बट वी विल बी लाइक मेकिंग दिस एंटरटेन्ड एंड एवरी वन ऑफ यू। आपकी जो भी क्वेरीज है, जो भी डाउट्स है, प्लीज़ आस्क मी ऑन दिस कमेंट सेक्शन, ताकि मैं आपको जितना हो सके आज हेल्प करके फिर आपको भी हेल्पफुल हो जाएगा, तो फिर हम इसे एंड करेंगे, ठीक है। अगर पूछना है तो पूछिए। यस श्री मैम। कोई
गुड
कमेंट है?
आफ्टरनून। यस, गुड आफ्टरनून नागपाल सर, गुड आफ्टरनून, कैसे हैं आप?
नागपा सर, आप मेरे सेशन में फर्स्ट सेशन में थे आप मेरे साथ, तो थैंक यू सो मच। आपने लास्ट सेशन में भी आज मेरे साथ हैं, आप अटेंड किया आपने। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट। और भी कोई क्वेरीज है आपकी तो प्लीज मुझसे पूछ लीजिए, ओके। एंड जिसको भी अकाउंट ओपन करना है, प्लीज क्लिक ऑन द डिपॉजिट बैनर, क्लिक ऑन इट एंड देन डिपॉजिट, ओपन योर अकाउंट विद अस, ओपन अकाउंट ऑन दिस BTC प्लेटफॉर्म। एंड आपको बहुत हेल्पफुल होगा अकाउंट ओपन करने से, बिकॉज आपको आगे जाके बहुत सारे ट्रेड सिग्नल्स मिलेंगे। एंड मेरे सेशन के अलावा भी आपको काफ़ी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग तो कंडक्ट होती ही रहेगी, उसमें आपको सिग्नल्स मिलते ही जाएंगे। ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि अभी मेरे स्वैप में आपको ट्रेड सिग्नल वाले ही शायद लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग देखने मिले। आई डोंट नो, आई हैव नॉट कंफर्म्ड अबाउट इट, बट ऐसा भी हो सकता है। तो अगर आपको प्रॉफिट्स चाहिए या आप चाहते हैं कि आपको कंटिन्यू लाइक प्रॉफिट होता रहे, आप ट्रेड्स लेते रहे, इन्वेस्टमेंट करते रहे, तो प्लीज प्लीज मेक अ डिपॉजिट, ओके। एंड डिपॉजिट करके अकाउंट ओपन कर लीजिए। दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द लास्ट पार्ट फॉर यू, लास्ट चांस फॉर यू। जो भी क्वेरीज है आपकी पूछ लीजिए, ओके। मैं कमेंट में डाल देती हूँ क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग मिस कर देते हैं। ओके। आज मेरा जो पार्ट है वो ज़्यादा कुछ लेक्चर्स के रिलेटेड नहीं होगा। मैं आपको थोड़ा बहुत ही बता दूंगी, बट मोस्टली जो केसेस है वो इस पे रहेगा कि मैं आपको थोड़े से लाइक टिप्स दे दूं कि आप लोग जो भी न्यू कमर्स है उनको सिग्नल्स के लिए, बिकॉज देखिए गाइस, आपको सिग्नल्स तो ऑलरेडी इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे मिलते हैं, ठीक है, आपको सब पता चल जाता है। लेकिन मेरे पार्ट से मैं आपके लिए लास्ट में यही कर सकती हूँ कि अगर आपको कभी भी ऐसा लगता है कि फॉर एग्जांपल कभी भी ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कि मैं कैसे अभी डिपॉजिट करूं, या मैं कौन सी क्रिप्टो करेंसी को इम्पोर्टेंस रख के उसमें इन्वेस्ट करूं, लाइक व्हाट वुड बी द best part of me if I plan to invest on this currency, or I'm choosing this currency over that currency. For example, if I'm choosing Bitcoin over Ethereum, what would be the I can say what would be the transaction should I pay, transaction fee that I have to pay for that deposit. And the second important thing है कि कौन सी चीज़ों को मैं ज़्यादा ही अपने दिमाग में रख के डिसीजन लूँ। तो उसके लिए हमें सबसे पहले न्यूज़ पढ़नी होगी। तो मैं आपको न्यूज़ शेयर करती हूँ। एक शेयर करती हूँ, 1 सेकंड।
नागपाल से गिरे US 100 2700 आएगा क्या? चेक कर लेते हैं।
यूएस क्या बोल रहे हैं नागपाल सर?
और ये नंबर्स आप लोग शेयर मत कीजिए प्लीज।
नागपाल सर क्या बोल रहे हैं मैम?
US 100 टू 27,000 आएगा क्या?
यूएस 100 short-term forecast leans bearish to neutral, trading around 28,144 to 28,455. Under pressure from recent tech sector and AI spending scrutiny. Trading nearly 28,144, following a recent close around 28,455. Key zone and support is eyed near the 28,052 and 28,350 range. ठीक है, ठीक है। देखिए सर, अभी तो ये हो रहा है कि डिमांड जो है वो उसकी वो 28,350 तक होगा। आई मीन अभी अगर उसके हिसाब से मैं बात करूँ तो अगर 455 आपको दिखाई दे रहा है तो अभी हो सकता है 28,350। ओके। शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेजेस मतलब कि शॉर्ट टर्म में कितना भी आप लोग सेल करेंगे या बाय करेंगे, मोस्टली जो है वो केस अभी बुलिश मतलब सॉरी बियरिश है जहाँ पे लोग सेल करेंगे। तो सेल करने का मतलब ये होगा कि 28,003 आई थिंक 350 ऐसा कह रहा है कि हो सकता है, पर आपको पुल बैक भी ध्यान रखना होगा। इसके वजह से आपको जो है मुझे नहीं लगता ये इतना नीचे जाएगा जितना आपको लग रहा है कि 20,000 वगैरह नहीं, मोस्टली 100 या 200 से नीचे जाएगा। यस। ओके। तो अभी ये इतना है। नहीं 20 तो नहीं जाएगा आई थिंक, ये अभी बढ़ सकता है सर। यहाँ से देखिए आप, ये पॉइंट है ना आपको दिख रहा है, यहाँ से बढ़ेगा इतना जाएगा। ठीक है, इतना जाएगा। कैन इंक्रीज ड्यू टू इंक्लाइन ट्रेंड। ओके, ठीक है। Due to it can increase due to the inclined trend because I can see from here कि ये जो इतना नीचे नहीं जा रहा है ना? तो ये स्टेबल है तो ये थोड़ा ऊपर की तरफ ही होगा। तो आई थिंक इट्स गोइंग ऑन अपवर्ड साइड सर। ठीक है, गिव मी 1 मिनट। Rest of all the thing is that I really want to talk about the prediction for this news that has not मतलब हमने covered नहीं की थी. So I wanted to talk about it also. Okay. So this is going to be the prediction for this. Now I want to talk about CoinDesk. I really appreciate कि अगर आप लोग भी जो है वो प्लीज CoinDesk में जाके न्यूज़ पढ़े। News is very important for you guys because if you don't even like if you don't allow yourself to read the news and you won't understand what is happening in the market, right? I'm keep on trying to make you guys understood about the news, about the things. But if you guys don't like go have an interest of reading the news, then I don't think so it would be any profitable for you guys. Okay. And other thing is that सो आई वांट टू टेल यू गाइस कि आज हम जो है वो न्यूज़ के बारे में अच्छे से बात करेंगे, ठीक है? सबसे पहले आई वांट टू हैव अ हेडलाइन, बट आपको इसमें नहीं समझेगा बिकॉज़ आई आल्सो फील इक्वली प्रॉब्लमैटिक कि आपको एक-एक चीज़ मुझे समझानी पड़ती है। तो हम इसमें इंग्लिश ईज़ी वे में ही समझ लेंगे, ठीक है? गिव मी 1 मिनट। कॉइन डेस्क करंट न्यूज़ टुडे। ठीक है। कैन वी प्रॉम्प्ट इट? Yes, we can prompt it. Today's top crypto news on CoinDesk highlights a sudden price jump for the Shibu Inu token and shutdown of the Bitmart crypto exchange. What does it mean? Shibu Inu is a token coin. It actually got shut down due to it actually saw a price jump like the Shibu Inu का जो token price है उसमें काफी जंप देखने को मिली and shutdown of the Bitmart crypto change. Bitmart crypto exchange is a coin or it's a part. It actually got shut down. The big move is the Shibu Inu token shot by 36% in a single day, adding about $1 billion to its total value. 36% के हिसाब से लोगों ने काफी Shibu Inu को coin को buy किया है. It actually inclined to 36%. That is a huge amount. And the traders in South Korea led this mystery rally, buying heavily on local exchange. Traders in the South Korea. आपको बता दूं कि ये जो coin है, it belongs to South Korea, okay? It belongs to South Korea, okay? By buying heavily on the local exchange like Upbit. Like Upbit is a platform for there to buy it, though no official news explained the sudden interest. But they actually started to buying a lot of it that inclines it to the $1 billion add ho gaye and the cost has been shot up by 36%. Bitmart shutdown. Bitmart crypto exchange announces shutting down its operation after running for 9 years. Bitmart crypto exchange is a exchange platform. It got shut down. Why it got shut down? It is shutting down its operation after running for 9 years. 9 years. 9 years say it has been working like it has been online, it has been on the platform that is working and functionable, but after 9 years it got shut down. Following a closure news, now we're going to have a news regarding a token crash. Following the closure news, Bitmart's native exchange token crashed by 58%. Why it got shut down? Because Bitmart's का जो native exchange है, the native exchange is a exchange platform. The token, we also have a token for that, and actually got crashed by 58%, which is huge because 50 more than 50% it got crashed in the platform. Protecting Bitcoin from future tech. Now we're having some security based news. Major financial and crypto giants, including BlackRock, Coinbase, and Strategy. Up, whenever I'm calling out the name of these platform, they are actually a platform like you have a platform for BtcDana. They're also a platform called BlackRock. Platform like Coinbase and Strategy. So major financial and crypto giants, including BlackRock, Coinbase, and Strategy, have pledged. What they have pledged, it's actually a not that good word, but I will tell you that it's going to be a commitment they have done, and $50 million to a new group. They are going to add a $15 million to their group to because they want to expand their functions, they want to expand their crypto technology, they want to expand their functionality across various countries. So that's why they are actually adding it to their new group. Okay. This money will be prepared and protect Bitcoin's network against future threats. This money, what is the cost for this? What is the main thing that going to be developed after they have introduced this $15 million? This money will prepare and protect Bitcoin's network against future threats. They want to create a network. What they want to do, they want to create a network. Please guys have a look, please pay attention because it's related to the Bitcoin news. What they are doing is they are actually preparing the Bitcoin's network to be safe and secure for the future tech, because we can't know and we don't know in the future AI will ruin or not ruin, AI will come up with developments and different programs would be availed on different crypto trading platforms. So they actually wanted to, in a safe and side position, they are actually wanted to protect the future threats from advanced quantum computers. Quantum computers are those computers which is AI generated, and they actually transact the cryptocurrency without human resource help. So they are very developed AI based computers that are going to be leveled on every platform that you are using a crypto market. So to save this from different kind of things, the money will help prepare and protect Bitcoin's network against threats from advanced quantum computer. So this is going to be the top news based on CoinDesk. Now when we have referred to all this news, I want to make sure कि you also please understand कि अब Bitcoin कहाँ जाएगा, okay? ठीक है? अब Bitcoin prediction करते हैं. Give me 1 minute, okay? So now we will be having a look on the particular segment that is about the prices. So let's know Bitcoin. No, let's have a lecture also today. Because जाने से पहले I want to give you a brief best lectures. हमने सब पढ़ा है. मेन हमारा जो है सारी स्ट्रैटेजीज आपको पता चल गई. मेन इसमें से एडवांस क्रिप्टो ट्रेडिंग कोर्सेज विद स्ट्रैटेजी. आई वांट टू गिव यू अ स्ट्रैटेजी दैट यू कैन यूज इट फॉर योर नेक्स्ट पार्ट, योर नेक्स्ट फंक्शंस. तो उसके लिए लेट्स सी. Guys, please make a deposit and please join this app. Open your account. ठीक है, रुकिए. आई वॉन्ट टू टेल यू दिस फर्स्ट थिंग जो मैंने आपको पहले नहीं बताई. दैट इज स्ट्रैटेजी 1. अभी हम बिटकॉइन की और क्रिप्टो की स्ट्रैटेजी के बारे में वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट इट. ठीक है. सो व्हाट आर द वेरियस काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजी दैट नीड्स टू बी एलैबोरेटेड. ठीक है. तो फर्स्ट हमारा है मार्केट मेकिंग, सॉरी. तो ये हम करते हैं एंड उसके बाद फिर हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि स्ट्रैटेजी कौन सी होनी चाहिए आपको ट्रेडिंग के लिए. मैं आपको एग्जाम्पल्स के थ्रू भी एक्सप्लेन करूंगी. पहले आप वीडियो देखिए.
So we're finally in the section about trading strategies. And the first trading strategy we're going to look at is market making. Now, market making might not be the strategy for you. It might be, but it's a very important strategy to learn. So regardless if you think you want to trade the strategy or not, I highly recommend listening to this section or these few lectures here on the strategy completely. Okay, so I have a lot of things to say about this strategy. And so what I'll do is we'll explain what the strategy is, and then I'll give my comments about it. So what is market making? Market making is basically, or the definition here off of Wikipedia, is going to be that a market maker or liquidity provider is a company or an individual that quotes both a buy and a sell price in a financial instrument or commodity held in inventory, hoping to make a profit on the bid-offer spread or return. So what does that mean? Well, it means this. It's just somebody who goes on the market, who looks at the order book. Imagine you have a order book, okay? A order book. Okay, and on this order book, you have all your buyers here. So let's say somebody wants to buy at, I don't know, $10. Somebody wants to buy at $9, 8, 7, 6. And then on top of that, you have all your sellers. And you have a seller at $11, $12, $13, 14. And there's the quantity, right? Maybe, 10 coins, 1,000 coins, whatever the quantities are. Doesn't matter for now. What a market maker is going to do, he's going to go and try to buy here at $10. He's going to place an order. And he's going, to go in the queue. So if there was 100 coins in front of him, he's going to place an order and he's going to go behind these 100 people who want to buy at $10. Or the quantity 100. So he'll go in the queue. Once they're all filled, it's going to be his turn to get filled. So what he's hoping for is for somebody to sell to him, right? And when he buys at $10, what he's going to do, he's going to go and place an order at 11 to try and sell at $11. And he's hoping that a buyer is going to come in and buy from him. So this is why they're called market makers, because they're creating a market. Because imagine this, imagine you go on this stock. Let's call this stock XYZ. Okay, you're going on this stock. You want to buy it. You want to buy it right now. So you go and you place an order to buy it from one of these sellers. You want to buy, or you send a market order. So you buy from one of these guys. Now, since there is a market maker, you are able to buy because he's there, right? And thus he's creating a market for this product. Because if he wasn't there, maybe there wouldn't be a seller here, right? And it's the same thing if you want to sell. Let's say you come in and you just want to sell it right now. Well, let's say there's a market maker at $10. You sell it to him right away. So he created a market. Basically, a market maker is like a middleman. He's there, he's willing to buy at low prices. So if a seller comes in, the seller can sell to him. And then he's going to try and turn around and sell it at a higher price. And if a buyer comes in and wants to buy right away, he'll be there to sell to him. So he's kind of like a middleman, and he's offering liquidity to people who want to buy and sell. Because on every transaction that occurs, you have two parties. You have one party that's an aggressive party and one that's a passive party. So if you place an order and your order goes on the order book, right? Your order goes on, let's say, at $10. And you want to buy at 10. You place an order here, you're a passive buyer. Now, if you bought at $11, you're an aggressive buyer because you're buying off somebody who was already there. If you were a seller, on the other hand, and you're selling at $11, then you're a passive seller because you're passively sending an order and waiting to get filled. The price might drop and you might never get filled, but you're placing an order and hoping that somebody buys from you there. Now, if you want to sell right away and you sell at $10, where there's already a buyer, you're an aggressive seller. So the way it works is when a order is resting on the order book because you sent it and there was nobody there for you to transact with, you're a passive person. And when you're selling or buying from somebody who was already on the order book, so you're getting instantly filled, you're an aggressive participant in the market. And another word for this is we often say these people who are on the order book, they are adding liquidity to the market, adding liquidity. And if somebody is being aggressive, So if you're selling to somebody who's already on the order book or buying from somebody who's already on the order book, you are removing liquidity, right? Now, exchanges, they want to have market makers, right? Why? Because if there's no market, people might not want to trade these products, right? And let's say there was no, imagine there was nobody on the order book on, let's say, Bittrex, one of the exchanges. Would you want to go trade on Bittrex? No. Or on Binance? No. So these exchanges want there to be market makers, okay? And this is why they will offer, let's say, for example, I'm going to try and search for Binance fees. They're going to offer incentive for you to be a passive participant in the market. So if I go here on Binance and I check their fees, they'll tell you that the fees here, this is based on how much you are trading, right? And they'll have that the fees if you are a maker versus a taker. So there are different fees for if somebody is adding liquidity, so a maker you're making a market, or taking from the market. And you'll see that the fees here, and it'll change based on the volume. The more volume you make, the better the fees will be. Maker could be twice as less than taker fees, right? And actually in the stock market, sometimes if you are making a market, if you're adding liquidity, they actually pay you. They take some of the fees that the person removing liquidity is going to be paying and giving a part to the person who's making liquidity. That's how much of an importance market makers are, because they create a market for this product. Now, market making is such an important thing in the financial markets that in the stock markets, you could register and be a market maker for a specific stock, and you would get a lot of benefits. And market makers in the stock market in the 80s were the richest and most successful people in the markets. They would make way more money than, let's say, portfolio managers or hedge fund managers. They were making a killing, okay? That's in the 80s. And why? Because the spreads back then were huge, right? Because a market maker, how does he make his money? He buys at the bid and he tries to sell at the ask. So he makes the spread. Nowadays, the spread, and let's talk about stocks just for a second. Nowadays, the spreads on on most stocks is like a cent. You buy on the bid, you sell at the ask, you make a cent times the amount of shares you have. It's not a lot. But back in the days, the spreads were very huge. They were very large. And before, on the stock market, we weren't even trading at cents. We were trading on 1/8. So the spreads were big. But that changed with time because the markets became more liquid, more people were trading, the spreads got tighter. We had automation, so computer softwares would basically come in and buy and sell and reproduce those types of strategies. Now, the funny thing is, in the cryptocurrency market now, we have things that that worked for market maker for stocks way long ago, because you have to understand that the cryptocurrency world, the cryptocurrency markets are not as advanced, or they're not like where the stock market is right now. So things that we saw in the stock market 10, 15 years ago, we're seeing in the cryptocurrency market right now. So things that are very hard to do now in the stock market are not as hard to do in the cryptocurrency market, okay? And another one of the reasons why I really think that this is an important strategy to understand how to do is because the first time I ever traded, okay, professionally, it was at a company called World Trade Securities. I actually have a picture of it here on my Facebook. So this is the first proprietary trading firm that I worked at, and this is the only picture I found. I found a few of them on my Facebook here. This one I posted on my Facebook in 2012. I started working there in 2011. So yeah, that's a long time ago. And this was the first professional trading job that I had. Because before that, I was just trading by myself. I started, cold calling all these companies. I was able to get an interview with one. I convinced them to let me work there, even though I had barely started. I don't know if I started university by then, probably, yeah. But I was still very young, and they took me in. And this company, the only thing that they did was market making. They only did market making. So the floor, you can't see here, but the floor was 2 floors. On the first floor, this is where I was. We had 2 rows, 3, 4 rows of traders. So across the whole floor, maybe we were between 40 and 50 guys. And everybody was doing market making. They did not permit you to do any other strategy than market making, because this was the way they were making money. That was the strategy for this firm. Okay. And I've done that pure market making for a period of, I don't know, 8 months to a year. I worked at this company. And yeah, so they were basically trying to buy at the bid, sell at the ask. Now, when I worked there, at that time, there was a lot of automation already that's being done. So people there who were making millions of dollars before were making way less money because it was just way more competitive at that time. But they were still making money. And the way they did it is, as a trader, you got a desk, you got you got your level 2s for each stock that you were trading. So you'd see a level 2 for each stock. You would have the chart, and then you would place buy and sell orders and try and buy and sell. And you would start off with a very small amount of money. So you just buy 100 shares and sell them. And you're making 1 cent, so that's $1 per trade. And if you're able to be profitable for a week, if they see that you're good, they size you up. So then you have 300 shares, 500, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. So at one point you're trading with 100,000 shares, and you're trading very cheap stocks, because they were only trading stocks at this time. Nobody was really trading cryptos back then. So basically we were trading very cheap stocks like Bank of America, Sirius XM, CIM, like these very cheap stocks that are trading at $1, $2, and you're buying 100,000 shares on the bid, and there's 1 cent spread, and you're selling the $100,000, the 100,000 shares 1 cent higher. And if you make that money, well, you're making $1,000. Now, if you buy on the bid and you see that the price is going to drop, we would sell it back at the same price we bought it at, taking 0 loss, but paying a bit of fees. Now, if it drops a cent, we would try to sell it back on the ask, which would be a flat trade, or if it's going to drop again, we sell it and we take 1 cent loss, which would be $1,000 loss. And you just continuously buy and sell, buy and sell. Now, they were making good money because we had hotkeys to do these things quickly. So I had on my keyboard 48 hotkeys. I want to buy at this price, sell at this price. And as you really did this every day, you got really quick. And that was what this company was doing. And that's, I'm grateful for this, because having market make for such a long time, it gave me a very strong understanding of reading the order book, understanding order flow, being to, catch if there's a big buyer or big seller coming in, and trying to predict what impact he's going to have on the price, monitoring news, a bunch of these things, because it's such a basic strategy. There's not a lot going on. You're not looking at a lot of statistics. You're just looking at the order book. And I'm grateful for that, because it gave me a very strong foundation. So this is why oftentimes, even if you're trading an advanced strategy, it's good to test something like this, just to see how the basics and the microstructure of the company works. Now, this company was called World Trade Securities, WTS. I left them because I wanted to do other strategies, automated strategies and whatnot, and they did not permit it. And, after I left, just a bit after, they actually shut down. So I don't recommend doing market making in the stock market, because in the stock market now, it's so automated, and as well, you don't have a lot of, you don't have the same things that we have in cryptos right now. Like, it used to work really good in the past, but things have changed. Things are way quicker. There's a lot of HFTs that are doing these things. In cryptocurrencies, you're going to see in the next few lectures that there are some of these coins that look way better than even the stocks that we were trading back then for stocks. So yeah, even though I don't recommend doing it for stocks, for crypto, I think there's a big place there. So yeah, they actually ended up shutting down. I think they might have another office in New York. Not too sure if that's open or not, but yeah. So market making. Who is it for? So market making is going to be for somebody who has a lot of time to put in front of his screen, because you're going to have to be in front of your screen and be, ready to click. Okay. So you have to have the time. Also, this is something you can do manually, right? Also, if you have experience in or knowledge in programming and you can automate this, this is a highly automatable strategy. You can automate it and leave it running 24/7. If you don't know how to automate strategies, check out my other course on cryptocurrency algorithmic trading. Click on my name and you'll find it somewhere there. But yeah, automating the strategy could be very helpful. If you are doing anything long term, then you don't want to look at the strategy too much, but you can test it out for a few days just to get some knowledge and learn about it. I think it's very interesting. So yeah, I think this is enough for this lecture. Let's move on to the next lecture and keep developing on top of what we're saying here. So for market making, how do we select our coins? Now, we're not going to want to market make anything, right? There are specific coins that are going to be best for market making. So the coins we want to look at are going to be coins that have big spreads. So the difference between the bid and ask is big. Why? Because we're buying at the bid, we're selling at the ask. We want this to be as big as possible for us to make the most amount of profit. So it's not only for that, it's because imagine you have this big of a spread and you're buying on the bid, you're selling at the ask. Now the price drops and now it's going to stay there. Now you want to try and sell at the ask. Imagine you bought at the bid and it dropped and you didn't have time to flat trade it. And now you want to sell it at the ask. Well, the ask is going to be the same price that the bid was. So you can still have the option of flat trading it. When you're trading things that have a very tight spread, they'll move a lot. So even if you're selling at the ask, it's going to be at a loss. So there's a lot of big reasons why you want to trade things that have big spread. And you'll realize that as you test it out. We want cheap coins. Why? Because cheap coins are going to have the largest spread and they're going to move the least. Even when we're doing market making in stocks, we're looking at very cheap stocks because stocks can only have a spread of 1 cent. So if you're trading a stock that's at $3 or at $1, a 1 cent move is 1%. So the minimum amount is going to be a big percentage. Now in cryptocurrencies, the cheapest that a coin can be on Bitcoin or on any currency is a Satoshi. It's basically 8 decimal places. So the 8 decimal, we cannot go 9th decimal place. So if you're trading something versus Bitcoin and it's trading at 10 Satoshis, the bid, and the ask is 11 Satoshis, well, 1 Satoshi is going to represent a 10% move. So it cannot trade, 10 and a half Satoshis. It has to be, Satoshi is the minimum. So if you have very cheap coins, the smallest increment is going to be a large percentage. And we'll see that right now. We want a lot of volume because we want to be able to get in and get out a big quantity of coins, right? Because they're so cheap that you can buy a lot. Like with $100, you'll be able to buy a bunch. And we want things that are ranging. We don't want it too volatile. And that makes sense because we want to buy and sell, buy and sell. We don't want it to move a lot because if it's moving, we're going to be taking losses. Okay. So this is how we do our screening for this strategy. This is what we want. So how do we do this? Let's go on CoinMarketCap. Let's go on exchanges and check for Binance. Okay. Now I have all these coins. Let me select the pair that are on Bitcoin, and I'll tell you why in a second. And then let's order them by price. Okay, I want cheapest coins first. Now let's take a look at the cheapest one. It's called WinBTC. I'll go on Binance here, and we'll check WinBTC. So Binance, Exchange, Advanced. Advanced. So let's check WinBTC. So we'll go BTC, Win. Look at this. So you see here that it's trading in a very tight range. So this is a daily chart. So in the past, I don't know, 1 week, a week and a half, we've only been between this price, which you look at the order book, there is 3 levels. There's 3 Satoshis, which you see there's 7 zeros here, and then a 3, that's 3 Satoshis, 2 Satoshis, 1 Satoshis. There's no other, it can't fall more than this. These are the last 3 digits. And then you have sellers selling at 4 Satoshis, 5, 6, 7, all the way up. Now, if you're able to place an order here, right? If I place an order here, and I'm not logged in right now, but later on I'll log in and I'll place orders. If you place an order here and you're able to buy and you sell it here, well, how much money are you making? You're making 33%, right? Because 4 divided by 3 minus 1 times 100, that's 33% return on a trade. Now, how hard is it going to be for you to get filled here? Well, it will be a bit hard, and I'm going to talk about that later on. Well, actually, no, let's talk about it now. Why will it be hard for you to get filled? Well, look at this. How many people are buying here? You have an amount of 3.7 billion. So not millions, you have 3 billion coins on the bid. But it's a very cheap coin. So if you do that times the price, it's still worth 111 bitcoins. So there's about 111 bitcoins on the bid. Okay? So if you go here and you place an order to buy, let's say for 1 bitcoin, you're going to be behind all of these. So when people are selling for them, you're only getting filled after they all get filled. Okay? And probably there's going to be people behind you by then, but it's going to take a while. We can look here on the time of sales and see right now it's like 2:19 p.m. At 2:12 we had somebody who sold 20 million coins, then 5 million. So, and here 2 million, 1 million, smaller amounts. So in the last 2 hours, 3 hours, 27 million. Yeah, we had maybe, I don't know, 50, maybe 100 million. So it'll take a while. If in the last several hours we've had, 100 million, then, how much is it going to take for us to get filled if there's 3.7 billion people in front of us? And we just, in the past few hours, there was just 0.1 billion that was executed. Well, it'll take maybe more than a day, okay? But still, this is, if you're patient and you can place your order and just wait, you will get filled, right? This one probably might take longer, okay? So I don't know if this one is going to be the best one, but you can test it out, okay? But how do we keep looking for better ones, right? So we go back here, we look at another one. Let's take a look at Dent. Like, I'm not saying that this one is not good. We should test this one out. We'll have to see how often we get filled. But honestly, just looking at it and seeing that there was 20 million, 27 million, 27 million, about 100 million getting executed, 3.7 actually isn't going to take that long. It'll take a day or two, but for the amount of profit that you can make, it seems interesting. So, give me just a second here. Sorry about that. If we'll take a look at the other one. So we had Dent here. Well, Dent is a little bit better here. Dent is actually one that my traders have traded, okay? But when they were trading it, it was a little bit more expensive, right? So now it got way cheaper. So once it's so cheap that it also probably takes a while for you to get filled. Now, going from 4 satoshis to 5 satoshis, you're making 25% return on a trade. Huge. How much? What is the liquidity on there? Well, there's about 1.5 billion coins on the bid. How much is it trading? 2 million, 2 million, 7, 7, 2, 2. A few millions here and there. So probably if you place an order here, it probably would take as much time as the other one, I would say, a day or even 2. But again, look at that. In the past 2 or 3 weeks, it has only stayed between that range. So you could have got multiple trades in and out probably. And each of those you would have made that money. So, those are pretty good. That's a pretty good coin. That doesn't exist in stocks. There's nothing like this where you can buy and sell at the other side and make this amount of money. Now, you might want to trade something that's more active because these ones are not as active. So then you want to go things that are a little bit less cheap. Okay, so where are we now? This is Dent. You might, let's say Key, for example. Key, I know that some of my traders have traded. Key so you can put key here, is a little bit more expensive. But this one moves way more often, so you're gonna get filled multiple times way quicker, okay? So here, the bid is 14 Satoshis, the ask is 15. So going from 14 to 15, right? Minus 1 times 100 is 7% return. So way less, but you'll be able to execute trades more often. So for example, here on the bid, there is 24,000 coins, and on the ask there is 4 million. So sorry, 24 million and 4 million. Yeah. Now, 24 million coins of key are worth 3.4 Bitcoin, so not that much. And look at how much it's trading. So we have here 800,000, 400, 900, 500, 600, and all of these are within the last hour. So, you know, 2 million here, and there's 24 million. So several hours, and I believe you get a trade on this. And again, in and out is 7%. You know, making 7% on a trade is not something small, and you're in and out, and you can repeat that. Now, if you have any type of automation, you can see why this is interesting, because it can be done automatically. Now, so this is the coin selection. This is the process of selecting coins. You go over the coins, you look at the order book, okay? You look how much people there are, you look at how much it's trading, so how much time would it take for you to get filled approximately, and then you look at the chart. So you want to see that it's not too volatile, but for example, this one is not bad because it breaks levels. Sometimes it doesn't just stay within one level. So it breaks the level, so you know that everybody gets filled multiple times, and you know, it stays within the range. It's not, you know, this part here where it's dropping, then you might not want to trade it when it's you know, going in a direction like this. But when it's ranging like this, then it's pretty solid. And you could look at, I don't know, an hour chart. If you look at an hour chart, you see that, you know, it's trading within this range. So you're buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying. Now it drops. Whatever you bought here, you can sell it back at the ask. It went back up, so you flat trade it, and then you're buying, selling. So this is a pretty solid coin for market making. There's a bunch of other. So what I would recommend is, if you are going to implement the strategy, you go over them and you see which ones you want to trade. Now, you want to trade them on Bitcoin for a reason. Because if you trade the same coin, let's say key, for example, or no, let's actually go back on Dent. We said that Dent here, if you buy on the bid and sell on the ask, and you see here on an hourly chart, it's just within this range. It hasn't went out, right? It's buying, sell, it's all within the same range. Here we said that if you're buying at the bid, selling at the ask, you're making 25% return, because that's the minimum increment. But if I look on Dent to USDT, Dent, okay, I guess they don't have it on USDT. So let's take a look at something else, like Win. Do they have Win? Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at Win first on Bitcoin. Win Bitcoin, we said that the difference between the bid and ask is 33%. Now, if I look at Win USDT, the difference is going to be, well, the ask is at 3,223 and the bid is at 3,222. So there's 1 Satoshi difference, but the price is way bigger. So 1 Satoshi difference on that minus 1 times 100 is only 0.03%. So you see that since you are trading the same coin, okay, but you are trading it on dollars, since a dollar is worth way less than a Bitcoin, right? When you're looking at Win versus a dollar, price. When you're looking at Win versus Bitcoin, which is more expensive, it's a smaller price, right? Because you have the same nominator, but the denominator is bigger. So the same thing divided by a bigger number is going to give you something smaller. So this is why you want to trade it versus Bitcoin, because it's going to give you a smaller number, and the smallest increment, a Satoshi, is going to be way bigger, right? So you don't want to trade something like this versus US dollars, because a smallest increment here is not as big as a smallest increment when you're trading something versus Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, when you divide by Bitcoin, instead of dividing by a dollar, it's a smaller number. So you want to trade something that's like that. So we're always going to be looking at versus Bitcoin. not Ethereum, not whatever. We're looking at the pairs versus Bitcoin to get something that has such a high spread. Okay. So this is how you're going to look for coins. And in the next lecture, we're going to talk about how to trade that specific strategy. All right, so how do we trade?
So we have completed the first part about the trading strategy. Now I wanted to discuss about what you guys have understood from it. And if you really want to ask any questions regarding the strategy part that we have completed, please ask me about it. Any questions, anything you want to ask me? See, we have already completed about the trading part. Now it's our time. We have already completed about the trading part. Now it's our time to understand and make you guys feel completely well about the trading strategies that we have completed. So until now, what you guys have understood, I wanted to ask you first. कि आपको इतने में क्या समझा है? Anything you want to ask me, any questions you have in your mind, you think that I can answer it, or you can think that we can discuss about this strategy, or you feel that we can discuss more about it, you can ask me. No? Thank you, Arian sir. You always deposit. Thank you so much for your deposit. $7 is a huge. Thank you, sir. Anything? कोई questions है आपके? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to convey? Thank you, री मैम. आपने को गिफ्ट कूपन भी सेंड कर दिए हैं. ठीक है. गाइस, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ कि आपको कोई स्ट्रैटेजी के बारे में जानना है तो प्लीज़ आप डिस्कस कर सकते हैं ताकि आपको जो है वो स्ट्रैटेजी का थोड़ा सा आइडिया हो जाए. हमने अभी बहुत ब्रीफ में कवर किया है एंड मैं आपको थोड़ा सा नॉर्मल बताती हूँ. रुको.
The strategy.
वेट. बिगनर ट्रेडिंग. Best trading strategy as a beginner, you can use this dollar cost averaging. It is a passive strategy where you invest a fixed amount of money at regular intervals. What you do, you actually do a fixed amount of money at a regular interval, such as weekly, monthly, regardless of whether the market price is up or down. You don't even think about whether the market is up, whether the market is down. You keep on investing it. Okay, so that is called dollar cost averaging. Okay, then we have swing trading. The first strategy is dollar cost averaging. Okay, dollar cost averaging. Then we have swing trading. Swing trading is an active strategy where you hold position for several days or weeks to capture medium term price trends. What you have to do, you have to do an active strategy. You have to hold the positions, you have to hold the positions of your crypto for a longer period of time, for several days, for several weeks, or for capture medium price trends. You have to keep on doing that. Okay, no risk management rules. If you don't have no risk management, then it would be a difficult for you, because use only a capital you could afford to lose. मैं सिर्फ 500 रुपये ही अफोर्ड कर सकती हूँ, या मैक्स 1000 रुपये अफोर्ड कर सकती हूँ फॉर लूजिंग और अफोर्ड टू लूज, तो मैं उतना कर दूंगी. ठीक है, प्लीज सेंड मी द मनी. इट इज नॉट अ मनी गिविंग सेशन, so I'm really sorry that you guys are asking money. It's money assistant session, like we actually help you to boost your income. It's not something that we would provide you. You have to work for yourself, you have to do a good business for yourself, you have to earn money by yourself. No one is going to give you any money, no one's going to give you money without any reason. It's practically impossible. And even in this, I don't think so how you guys think about this key. We will give you money, because it's a app, it's a trading platform, it's an official trading platform. So I don't think so. What makes you guys think that we are here to do a charity? It's not something like we are freely giving you money. Okay, this is actually very sad, because you are asking this, you are taking this as your reason for asking the money. I don't think so it is acceptable, because you want to give your hospital bill. I do understand you must be having an emergency, but that doesn't make sense that you can ask in this platform, in a trading platform, you can ask for the money and people will give you that. It's really really impossible. I know you must be going through a tough time, but this is completely unexpectable from my side, and it's not a good thing to ask. It doesn't show a good impression of yours in this platform. Please understand this clearly, that you have to earn for yourself, you have to save for yourself. No one is going to provide you money. Okay, JTT sir, please understand this. It's not a good impression you're making on, like, an impression for the others on this platform. It's not a charitable platform, sir. It's a trading platform, genuine trading platform. We have multiple currencies, we have like forex exchange, cryptocurrencies here, we have foreign exchange. So how do you think that it's a charitable platform? I don't understand. I don't get it. Okay? Please don't ask money in any platform. Please don't ask money. You keep on asking, but no one's going to help you. As clear as that, as simple as that, I'm answering you. No one's going to help you. Okay, automatically close losing trade if prices drop past a specific threshold. Okay. Good morning, QU sir. 5 to 10% get below. If you are facing the price has gone down, then please sell it. Because if you think that 5 to 10% is a good price strategy, because I think that 5 to 10% के ज़्यादा you should not actually deal with the losses, because then आप profit ही क्या करोगे, right? तो 5 से 10% अगर आपको लगता है कि नीचे जा रहा है, तो प्लीज जाने दीजिए उसको. Steer clear for borrowed funds or complex future contracts until you gain months of practical experience or market experience. हमेशा याद रखना कि borrowed funds और complete future contracts हमेशा आपको मिलने चाहिए, कि leverage जो है वो आपको ज़्यादा avoid करने की ज़रूरत है. तो borrowed funds और complex future contracts until you gain months of practical experience, तो उसको थोड़ा सा थाम लीजिए. Always avoid the leverage which comes with a huge ratio. Please use that, okay? And okay. तो ये 3 strategy थी. Now we will be taking this, completing this, okay? फिर हम इसके बारे में भी बात करते हैं, market making, how to trade in it.
So I logged into one of my accounts here. I'm not going to do a live trade now. I'll do this in the next lecture. But what is the idea here? So if I'm looking at something like Key, now I don't know if Key is going to be the best one for you to start with, or maybe something that's a little bit less volatile. But you know, Key looks pretty good. Now, and at this time, it might change when you're looking at this video. Maybe by that time, the price of Key is way higher and it's way more volatile. So obviously you would have to rescreen the coins when you're taking this course to find the coins that are good at that time. Okay, it's a very important point. Now, if I'm looking at Key right now, I want to make sure that the chart is ranging here, and yeah, it is. Now, I wouldn't want to buy here because that's a bit too high. I want to buy somewhere here. Okay, so at 14 seems to be a good price to buy, and the bid is at 14, so that's great. So I would place an order here, and I can place an order for, I don't know, let's say 100 or a million satoshis, a million coins, which is going to be 0.14 bitcoins. But obviously you want to start with the smallest amount. So let's say 100,000 or way less than that. You know, I don't know what is the smallest increment is $10 that you can trade with. So if you're testing the strategy, start with the smallest increment. Start with $10 so you know if you're making money or not. Like with any other strategy, you want to test it out with the smallest increment because you have to be willing to lose all of that money because you're testing out a strategy. You're not sure if you're doing it well or not. You're practicing basically. So you don't want to practice with any real money. You want to practice with something that you're 100% willing to lose. Even when you're trading with capital that you're risking. So you have to be willing to lose it. But when you're practicing, you're literally like just practicing, right? So it has to be with the smallest increment possible. So anyways, if I want to buy something like this, I place my order, and then my order is going to go here. And you see now the quantity went from 24 million, or it was increased by the amount that I sent, which is 100,000 coins. Now I'm waiting here in line. I have to wait until all these people in front of me get filled, and then, you know, there's going to be people behind me by that time. And when I get filled, I'm going to send an order and I'm going to sell it at that time, right? Now, is this the only way of trading it? No, there's a few ways for you to trade this. Sorry about that. Let me take my sound off. Yeah, there's a few ways to trade them. Some people do it like this. So it's a simple one entry and one exit. So when I get filled at 14 satoshis, I'm going to send my order at 15 satoshis to try and sell, and I'll wait there patiently. Now, what happens if I'm not getting filled at 15 satoshis and the price is about to drop? I see that the quantity of buyers here starts decreasing. Maybe at that time it's 20 million, and then it decreases. It goes to 18 million, 17 million, 16, 14, 12, 10, 9, 4, 5, 5, 4. So then at that time, I know it's going to drop down. So what I'll do is, you know, my position that I have, that I bought it at 14, I'll just sell it back at 14. I'll flat trade it, right? That is how you do market making. You buy and you try to make one increment, one of the smallest increments, or flat trade it. We often call this strategy 0+ because you either make zero profit or, you know, whatever profits you can make. Now, it's not always going to be the case because sometimes the bid is going to drop right away and you're not going to have time to flat trade it. So then the bid becomes 13 and the ask becomes 14. So what you do at that time is you cancel your sell order that was at 15 and you try to sell it again at 14. So if some buyers come and buy at 14, well, then you would have sold at the same price you bought at, and again, it would be a flat trade. Now, when can you lose? Well, you can lose when it doesn't only drop 14, but then it starts trading at 13, and then you see that 13 is gonna go away, then you have to sell it at 13, and then you had a 1 Satoshi loss. So you can either win one, flat trade it, or lose one. Now, if you don't take your losses, then it's just gonna keep going down and you might just lose way more. So you have to be good at taking losses, and you have to be really good at flat trading it. If the trade doesn't go good, flat trade it. Most people that don't succeed in this, they don't want to flat trade it. They're like, no, I feel it's gonna go up. Don't think about your feelings. It's a game. You know, when I got hired at the first firm that I talked about, World Trade Securities, one of the reasons I got hired is because I told them I play video games uh, aggressively, and I was ranked super high on some video games that I was playing at the time. So I told them about that, and they hired me because of that. They told me that, you know, people who are good at market making are usually really good at games, because, and that's what they wanted, because they wanted somebody who thinks quickly and is able to click quickly, doesn't really second guess himself, start thinking about it. He's quick. And people who are really good at video games, the games that I was playing, they're good at that. They make decisions quickly and they click quickly, right? They had a high APM, which is one of the things I told them I had, which is a high action per minute click in these games that I was playing. So they like that, and that's why they hired me. So you have to be good at being quick, okay? Not being like, oh, well, and that's in trading in general, in any strategy, but this more because it goes fast. Now you can do it in other ways. I suggest to start doing it in this way, one entry, one exit. But, I've had traders who did it in a bunch of different ways. Some traders would layer their entries. So they would put maybe, a part of their entry here, and then here they would put another part. Maybe here they put 100,000 coins. Here they would put 200,000 coins, right? So if it drops more, they would even buy a bit more at this price. And then if it drops more, they would even buy a bit more at this price, right? So they would layer, and they would do it in a pyramid type of way. So first entry would be, let's say 20, a percentage of your of the amount that you want to trade for this coin, and then the second level would be a bigger percentage, and the third level would be an even bigger percentage. Now, this is good in a way because if you buy at 14, you try to sell at 15. But if it drops again, you're adding to your position at 13, a bigger amount. So then you try to sell, whatever you bought at 14, you're trying to flat trade it at 14. And whenever you bought at 13, you're trying to sell it at 14 for a profit. So you still end up making money. And if it drops again at 12, you're buying so much more that, yes, if you're selling at 13, you are losing money on what you bought at 14. You are flat trading what you bought at 13, and what you bought at 12, you're making money on it. But what you bought at 12 is so much bigger that you end up making money. So there are different ways of doing it, okay? And you can test the different ways, always with the smallest increment possible. But yeah, these are the ways that will be able to trade the strategy. So test it out if you want, and yeah, I'll.
Okay, now let's have a look on the comment section. गाइस फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं आपको बता देना चाहती हूँ कि ये जो भी स्ट्रैटेजीज हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं ये आपको बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होगी बिकॉज इससे आपको ट्रेड लेने होंगे तो हमेशा याद में रखिए कि ये जो स्ट्रैटेजीज है द पर्सन इज एक्चुअली टेलिंग यू हाउ यू कैन इंट्रोड्यूस इट टू योर ट्रेडिंग पार्ट ठीक है एंड मैं जो है वो 3 बजे तक ही आपकी सारी क्वेरीज के आंसर दूंगी फिर 3 बजे के बाद मुझे गाने लगाने हैं आज बिकॉज आज लास्ट डे है मैंने जब स्टार्ट किया था तब इट वाज ऑल रिलेटेड टू एंटरटेनमेंट सेशन वहाँ पे गाने होते थे वहाँ पे बातें होती थी एंड ऐसे फिर वी एक्चुअली कंप्लीट द 1.30 आवर्स ठीक है नाउ लास्ट में जाते जाते भी आई वांट टू प्ले सॉन्ग्स फॉर यू गाइस क्योंकि इसके बाद आपके पसंद के गाने प्ले तो आई डोंट नो होते या नहीं मुझे नहीं पता बाकी लाइव्स के बारे में बट अभी मैं तो अपने लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में लास्ट कर रही हूँ तो प्लीज लेट्स एंजॉय टुगेदर एंड यस मुझे बस 2 मिनट दीजिए एंड तब तक आप ये ट्रायंगुलर एक बार ट्रायंगुलर भी पढ़ लीजिए उसके बाद फिर हम ट्रायंगुलर आर आर्बिट्रेज के बारे में पढ़ लेते हैं, फिर हम बाकी की चीज़ों के बारे में आपको मैं बता देती हूँ, प्रेडिक्शन एंड देन विद सॉन्ग्स एंड देन गेम्स, ओके? एंड लास्ट में कुछ क्वेश्चंस आपको पूछने तो पूछ लेना, ओके?
The next strategy we're going to look at, it's called triangular arbitrage. So, what is triangular arbitrage? The definition of a Wikipedia is the act of exploiting an arbitrage opportunity resulting from a pricing discrepancy among three different currencies in the foreign exchange market. Obviously, we're going to be doing this on the cryptocurrency market. It's just that's how it's been used, okay? And when people are talking about it, that's where it's coming from. The thing is, you can't really do it in the foreign exchange market anymore, or at all, because it's so done on the higher level that there's no opportunity for you to be able to do it. Now, what is arbitrage? Arbitrage is when you're taking something and selling that same thing in a different place for a different price. So when there's a mispricing for the same exact product, okay, there's an arbitrage opportunity. Okay, if you find an apple in one place and you can sell it the same apple in another place, there's arbitrage that can be done, because since it's the same apple, it should be at the same price. You can do arbitrage in plenty of markets, different markets, right? You can do arbitrage in stocks between exchanges, between currencies. For example, RBC, one of the biggest bank in Canada, also trades in the United States on US dollars. So you can look at the price when it's trading on the TSX and on the New York Stock Exchange and see, well, if there's a mispricing based, including the currency conversion, where you can buy it on this exchange, can then sell it on the other exchange, convert your money back, and you make a profit. This is arbitrage. Now, this strategy is definitely not for everybody. So if the market making strategy wasn't for you, this is not for you at all. But I highly recommend listening to these lectures, because even if you're not doing the strategies, I'm going to talk about some things that might open some some ways of thinking for you, even for other strategies that you're doing. So this is a strategy where you need to be in front of your computer. It's a quick strategy. It can also be automated. Don't worry, the next strategies that are coming up are longer term strategies. These ones are, I guess, are very quick strategies. The other ones that we're looking at are longer term. So I've made strategies here that will appeal to different types of people. Shorter term, or even people who want to automate something, to people who want to do things that are longer term. So don't worry. But still there is benefit in listening to what the strategy is. Okay. So how do you do triangular arbitrage? So I took the prices from Key because this is what we were talking about. This is the coin we were talking about when we were talking about market making. And this is how you do it. You look at Key versus Bitcoin. You look at the coin with Bitcoin first, because this is the one that's going to have the biggest spread.
One
And
thing,
then you
guys, मुझे comment आया है जिसमें one person is asking where can I do this thing. So what thing you want to do? This is actually really a lecture. It's a lecture, marketing strategy lecture. तो ये सिर्फ एक lecture ही है. It's not something that you have to copy or paste or you have to repeat the same thing that the person is actually asking you. But he is actually telling you the triangular arbitrage strategy. कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपका बिड प्राइस है 0.0 समथिंग और आपका आस्क प्राइस है, तो आपने कितने बाय किए बीटीसी, तब आपको जाके ये वाला मिलता है पेयर ए। फिर आप पेयर बी में क्या कर सकते हैं, पेयर सी में क्या कर सकते हैं, हाउ मच यू हैव टू बिड, हाउ मच यू हैव टू आस्क, एंड देन आपका एग्जीक्यूशन कैसा होगा, प्राइस एंड देन कॉस्ट इतना, फिर इतना बाय एंड सेल, तो आपको कितना प्रॉफिट होगा, क्या आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी होगी। इसके हिसाब से यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये कौन सी स्ट्रैटेजी है। ये आप हेल्प कर सकते हैं ताकि आप इसे लगा सके, एंड ये आप हेल्प कर सकते हैं ताकि आप इसको अपने लाइक अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी को यूज करके काफी गेन कर सके। तो इट्स काइंड ऑफ दैट स्ट्रैटेजी।
look at Key with another currency. It could be Key Ethereum, Key USDT, whatever. But you look at another one. And then you see if there's a discrepancy in prices. So in this case, if I'm looking at this currency pair, I'm saying, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to try and buy Key on the bid. So I have Bitcoins in my account, right? I'm starting with Bitcoins. I have whatever Bitcoins. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and buy key. So I place an order to buy. And let's say for this example, I'm buying 1,000,000 keys. They're very cheap, right? Because they're trading at 14 Satoshis. So 1,000,000 keys will cost me this amount of money. And we can calculate all of this here. So you see the calculation up here. So I can see that 1,000,000 keys at 14 Satoshis, so that's 6 zeros, 1 4, is going to cost me 0.14 Bitcoins. So you can see here, buying 1,000,000 keys at this price will cost me 0.14 Bitcoins. Now, as soon as I buy them, what I'll do, and I took these prices from live, so we can actually, we'll go and look at the prices live so you can see that they concur. But just before doing this lecture, I took these prices from Binance. Now, I'm looking at key and I see that the bid ask is this. The keys that I bought with Bitcoin, I turn around and I try to sell them right away on the bid here. So I get Ethereum, right? So I used Bitcoin to buy key, then I'm gonna sell key to get Ethereum. Now I have 1,000,000 keys. So 1,000,000 keys that I'm selling at the bid is gonna give me 0.12, oops, sorry. So 1,000,000 keys, there we go, 1,000,000 that I'm selling at the bid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, is going to give me back 7.89 Ethereums. Okay, so here 1,000,000 keys sold at this price give me 7.89 Ethereums. Now what I'll do is I'll take back these Ethereums and then I want to get back Bitcoin. So I sell Ethereum for Bitcoin at this price. And if I sell those 7 Ethereums at the current bid, which is 0.018657, I'm getting back 0.147. Let's see here. Oops. So there's a little typo here. Here it should have said 7.89. Okay, so here, little mistake. I'll change it. So if you have downloaded the PowerPoint from the first lectures, it will say the right amount, which is 7.89. So if you're selling 7.89 Ethereums at this current price, right, you will get 0.1472, which is this amount, right? So I started off by using 0.14 Bitcoins, and I ended up with 14.7 Bitcoins. So I've made 0.007 Bitcoins. Or, because you want to talk in percentage, because you don't know if you're trading with more Bitcoins or less Bitcoins, or in percentage, 5.14%. So I've made 5.14% on a very, easy, well, not that easy, but I mean, very simple trade with less risk. That's what I want to say. So basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at key to Bitcoin and I'm saying, hey, key to Bitcoin is at this price. If I can buy here and then I convert my keys to Ethereum, and then I convert my Ethereum back to Bitcoin, I can end up with more Bitcoins, right? It's as simple as that. I started with a currency, in this case Bitcoin. I buy something else, key, convert key to Ethereum, convert Ethereum back to Bitcoin, and I ended up with a little bit more Bitcoin. So then I made profit, and then I restart, and this is why it's called triangular arbitrage, because you're arbing a currency by doing street transactions, okay? Now, why does this work? Well, it works for a simple reason, okay? Because you have, let's say, one currency like key BTC. Okay, sorry for my writing. Key BTC that has a very big spread, right? The bid here is at 14 Satoshis, and the ask is at 15 Satoshis, right? So here there's a big difference here. And what's the difference? Let me calculate it real quick. It's 7, I think, right? 15 divided by 14, 7%. So there's a 7% spread. Okay. Now, you might look at then another currency like key Ethereum. And the spread for key Ethereum is going to be different. Look at the spread here. 796 divided by 789. Oops, sorry. 796 divided by 789 gives us 0.8%. So the spread is way smaller. Okay, let's see here. The spread for key Ethereum between the bid and ask is way smaller. So when you have a same currency that's trading versus another currency and the spread is different, well, if you're buying here on the bids, what you can do instead, once you get the position, is go on another currency and sell it aggressively right away to somebody on the bids in this, to get this other currency that you know its value versus your initial Bitcoin currency is high, right? So whenever you have two currency, the same currency trading on a different base currency, okay, that have different spreads, there's going to be an arbitrage opportunity. Because if you're able to buy where the bigger spread is, take that currency, sell it where the smaller spread is, and then convert back the currency you get to your initial currency, you're going to make money. Now, sometimes, you know, this other currency, the spread is somewhere here, which you'll make more money. Sometimes it's somewhere here. In this case, you're not going to make as much money because you're buying here, selling here. It's very small. So this is why it works, right? And we can do this on any currency, and we can also do it, you know, on this one. So let's take a look at something else. Let's choose a coin randomly. So we can go to coin market cap. Let's go on exchanges and go in Binance. Let's find another cheap coin and see if we can, let's select Bitcoin and see if we can find one and do the calculation in live. Storm, I don't know too much about this one. Storm, let's check out Storm. Let's check first Storm. Well, let's see if it trades on something else like Ethereum. Okay, so it trades on both. Let's check it out on Bitcoin. So Storm, yeah, in the same range. Okay, so let's do Storm BTC, and then we need to open another chart for Storm. Let's do Ethereum, and then let's have another chart with Ethereum back to Bitcoin. Ethereum back to Bitcoin. So if I place an order to buy here, and let's say I'm buying for, how much is this? This trading at 50. Let's keep the example with $1 million to keep it simple, because $1 million of that isn't even that expensive. It's such a cheap coin. Okay, so $1 million, right? So you go $1 million times the price you're going to be buying at. So you place an order at the bid and you wait until you get filled. So 0.12345 15. This is how much it costs you, right? And you have $1 million and it costs you 15. So then you go on the Storm Ethereum and you sell back those 1 million coins. Now, if you'll see here that you're going to have a hard time to sell 1 million. Okay, but let's say, okay, so let's say for this example, we did 500,000, okay, instead of 1 million. So 500,000, it would cost half of that, so 7.5. Now you're going to be able to sell the 500,000 at this price, because here there's not enough people, and you want to sell it right away. So if you sell 500,000 at 0.0000837, you are getting this much Ethereum. Okay, if you're actually going to get a better price because there's these prices here, so you're going to get partial filled here and then get the rest at this price. You're getting this much Ethereum. You go back to Ethereum and you sell your Ethereum so you can convert it back to Bitcoin, and that's pretty easy. For Bitcoin, for Ethereums, you'll be able to get all of this executed here. So 18,582. So times 0.018582, you get this much Bitcoins. And we said in the beginning, since we used half, it wasn't 15, it was 7.5, and your initial cost was 7.5, so 0.75. So you made, so 0.075. That was your initial cost, and you ended up making, how much did we say? 7776567 minus 0.075. So you made this much divided by 0.075. So you made 3.6% return on that trade. Okay. So different coins are going to give you different values. You can test different ones. If you do something else like Dent or one of these other coins that we saw, Win, or some of these ones that had huge spreads, the probability or the profit is probably going to be higher. But this is what triangular arbitrage is. Now, triangular arbitrage can be done on any pair. So you don't have to necessarily do it on Ethereum pairs. You could do your coin, let's XYZ Bitcoin, and then once you get XYZ, you don't sell it to Ethereum, you sell it directly to USDT. And then once you sold it to USDT, then you can convert back your USDT to Bitcoin. So it could be any triangle, right? Now, which triangle you should choose, it depends. Depends on the order book. Because like we've looked here, when I did 1 million coins of Storm, I would have had a hard time selling 1 million coins on this order book. Or no, actually I could have sold 1 million, not a problem. But imagine I want to trade bigger and bigger. Well, this order book isn't that thick. Some other order books are thick, and some other order books are thinner. So the second coin that you're going to be trading, you want to make sure that there's enough people on the order book. Okay, so this is going to be something that you want to make sure, right? This order book, there has to be enough people because you're going to be selling aggressively on the bid. So you want to make sure there's enough people on that order book, right? Now, another thing for this strategy is that this is a better strategy for somebody who's very quick on the computer, because you have to be extremely quick, and it's a very good strategy if you want to automate. So if you do any automation, if you do any coding and you want to program this strategy, there's some companies who the only thing they do is triangular arbitrage. Like this is something that's done, okay? And they're good at it because there's so many things that you can implement. You can implement, codes that will look at the order book and see the speed at which something is being filled. If there is higher volume than usual, you can, cancel orders quickly. You can execute your trades very quickly. You can co-locate the strategy near an exchange to be faster. You can do so much. Like you can spend your life working on this, right? So this is a strategy that would cater to somebody like that. Now, coin selection is pretty simple. You want cheap coins. It's like the market making strategy. You want cheap coins because they have bigger spreads. You want high volume coins because you want to be able to get in and get out big amounts, and you want to be able to do that quickly. And you want things that aren't too volatile, because if it's very volatile, by the time you get into one and you go to get into the other, it might have moved by a lot. And position sizing, the way I do this is just simple entry, right? So you don't scale in or anything like that. Now, some things I did not include here are the fees. Well, if I'm trading on Binance and I'm buying here, I have 0.1% fees, selling here 0.1% fees, selling here again 0.1% fees. So that's 0.3% fees, which will reduce this. So from 4.15, it'll go to 4.84, right? So we're losing 0.3%. So you have to factor that in, because with all these trades, it will, it will be a factor. Now, the other thing is, if you buy on the bid, but the prices are really dropping fast, then what's going to happen is this pair here is probably going to be lower as well. It's probably going to have dropped as well. So you might not get the exact prices that you thought you would have get by looking at it like that, okay? And especially if you buy and other people are buying, maybe other people who bought are also doing triangular arbitrage. So they're selling here and the price of this one is dropping quickly, so you have to be fast, right? So there's all these factors that go into it. So for you, if you want to try it, make sure to try it with a very small amount of money to see if you're able to do it correctly. If you want to automate it, same thing. Make sure you're doing it with a very small amount to make sure that it's working correctly. And yeah, I think that's enough for this lecture. I want to talk a little bit more about this strategy to give some more insights, and I'll do that in the next lecture. So see you guys there. Now, I want to talk about some advanced ways that you can implement while trading this strategy. And this is why I said that even if you're not trading the strategy, please listen to this section because this type of thinking you can apply in other strategies as well. So what you could do is you could combine this strategy with another strategy. For example, you can combine it with market making. Example, you start by market making. So let's say your market making key. You want to buy at the bid and sell at the ask. Buy at the bid, sell at the ask. Buy at the bid, sell at the ask. Now, if you buy at the bid and the price breaks and you didn't have time to sell at the ask or flat trade it, well, instead of just taking a loss, what you could do is try to arb it. So instead of just taking a loss at the other, one Satoshi lower, which is going to be 7% loss, well, at that point, you can go here on Key Ethereum, see what the price is, sell it on the bid, get Ethereum, convert Ethereum back to Bitcoin, and then maybe you would have made money, or you might have not lost as much money, right? So by adding a strategy within a strategy, you can actually improve your odds of winning. For example, let's say you're doing this, market making strategy. And for you, in this market making strategy, you have 60% chance of winning and 40% chance of losing, which is great. And you're making money. But then the time you start losing, right? Instead of just losing, which let's say you have this other triangular arbitrage strategy, and this triangular arbitrage strategy also has a 60% win and 40% loss. Well, instead of just taking your loss, when the price goes against you, then you just start implementing this other strategy, your triangular arbitrage strategy. And then you might have, obviously at this point, since the price dropped, the price might have changed as well for the other currency, so you're not going to have as much of a success rate. But even if you're able to get a success rate of 20% and lose 80%, well, now you just increased your percentage return, because 40% of the time, when you lose, you're able to win 20% of the time. Okay, so then you have 20 times 40%, so it's 0.4 times 0.2, which will give you, I don't want to make any mistakes here. What's 0.4 times 0.2? 0.4 times 0.2, 0.08. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired. I didn't want to do any math and then get comments. You did this wrong. So yeah, 0.08. So if you have, if you can increase your odds of winning from 60% to 68%, that's great. That makes a huge difference within your strategy. And then maybe when you're losing within this strategy, you're not losing as much as you would have lost initially within your market making strategy, right? So that's the logic or the mindset that you can have and you can implement in other strategies, is find a strategy and be like, okay, well, you know what, when I'm winning, but when I'm about to flat trade, is there something else I can do, another strategy that I might make money in? Or when I'm about to lose, can I, instead of just taking my loss, can I re-enter?
So I hope we have completed about all particular things when it comes to the trading strategy, when it comes to every other thing. कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना आपको पूछ लीजिए मुझसे, बिकॉज मैं अभी गाने प्ले करूंगी. प्रिडिक्शन करना है तो बता दीजिए. स- हाँ, ये तो सच बात है. BS राजपूत से कल मुझे भी इंटरनेट ने बहुत परेशान किया रात को. ठीक है, ज़्यादा कुछ क्वेश्चन नहीं है. लेट इट कंप्लीट. फिर मैं आपको कुछ प्रिडिक्शन चाहिए तो प्लीज़ कमेंट करें ताकि मैं प्रिडिक्शन कर पाऊँ एंड फिर सॉन्ग्स प्ले करूँ. ठीक है गाइस, लास्ट चांस, लास्ट 1 hour लेफ्ट फॉर दिस लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग टू एंड. तो अगर आप चाहते हैं तो प्लीज़ डिपॉजिट करें एंड डिपॉजिट करके मेरे बैनर से प्लीज़ अकाउंट ओपन करें. ओके Thank you.
Another strategy that anyways would have wanted me to be there and increase my odds of winning or reduce my the amount that I would lose. And this is something that you can do here. So you can start by trying to market make, and then if things hit the fan, then you can convert to this other strategy and either make or lose less. And this can be done in a bunch of other things. If you have other strategies that you're doing and you're thinking about it, a strategy where, let's say, you have event A, which when event A happens, you want to get into a position. But then if event B happens, you're winning. If event C happens, you're losing. But let's say you had another strategy that starts off with event C. When event C happens, you enter. And then when event C happens, you enter and you can either win or lose. Well, in this case, the same thing just occurred, right? You got into a position because event A happened. If you win, great. You just won. If you lose, well, you found this other strategy that when this happens, you would have wanted to get in anyways. So now it's like you are in another strategy and you can either win, okay, because you got into that trade, or you could lose. So you're just increasing your odds of winning by a bit. And this is what I wanted to get for you to get out of this lecture, is how to combine multiple strategies together. So that does it for this strategy.
So we are completing the strategy part. ठीक है? कुछ और क्वेश्चंस है आपके? BS राजपूत सर, डॉलर कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग इज अ स्ट्रैटेजी, जो मैंने लिखा है कमेंट सेक्शन में. ओके? अभी 10 मिनट्स और 8 मिनट्स है, तो भी कंप्यूटर पेयर ट्रेडिंग कर लेते हैं. पेयर ट्रेडिंग के बारे में जान लेते हैं. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लेक्चर है गाइस. दिस लेक्चर को मैंने गाइस, आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. व्हाट यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड सर, प्लीज टेल मी. आप लोग क्वेश्चन भी तो नहीं पूछते. अगर लेक्चर चल रहा है, किसी ने मुझे रियल में कोई अगर ध्यान दे रहा है, लेक्चर को समझ रहा है, तो दे विल बी आस्किंग द क्वेश्चंस टू मी कि मैम ये क्या था, इसका मतलब क्या है, हम इसे कैसे यूज करें. बट इफ यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू बॉदर मी अबाउट द क्वेश्चंस यू हैव इन योर माइंड, सो आई ऑल्सो डोंट थिंक सो कि मुझे भी समझाने की जरूरत है. ठीक है? देखिए, पेयर ट्रेडिंग जो है एक्चुअली, HR सर, दिस इज एक्चुअली अ lectures which I am conducting for you guys. I have purchased this lectures, every part of it is purchased, and it's really like quite expensive lectures. It's not that I'm telling you the worth of it, but I'm telling you that it's actually genuinely very important and valuable lectures for you. ये सारे के सारे लेक्चर्स इट इज इन इंग्लिश. आप इंग्लिश में सुनेंगे, समझेंगे, नीचे सबटाइटल्स है, पढ़ने की कोशिश करेंगे कि क्या बोला जा रहा है, तो आपको हेल्प होगी. आपको इंग्लिश समझ में भी आ जाएगी, आपको लेक्चर भी समझ में भी आ जाएगा. आपको सब समझ में आएगा कि मार्केट न्यूट्रल का मतलब क्या होता है, मार्केट न्यूट्रल रिवर्जन का मतलब क्या होता है. एवरीथिंग यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड. नीचे कैप्शंस मैंने ऑन किए हैं. नहीं समझ में आता, आस्क मी. कैसे हम इसे यूज कर सकते हैं. आगे जाके कोई भी आपको बताएगा नहीं पेयर ट्रेडिंग क्या होती है, मार्केट न्यूट्रल क्या होता है, रिवर्जन पेयर ट्रेडिंग कैसे करी जाती है, मार्केट में क्या होता है. एवरीथिंग. ओके, गिव मी 1 मिनट. So this was all related to it. ठीक है? So now I will be checking with this that this is a market neutral thing. But if you guys want to understand more of it, जैसे HRABX सर, आपको अगर कुछ बताना है तो आप प्लीज बताएं. प्लीज, आपको क्या जानना है मुझसे, पूछिए. कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं आपके? कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं आपके? अच्छा सर, री मैम, कोई क्वेश्चंस है क्या वहाँ पे? वीडियो बहुत ब्लर है यार। सर इंटरनेट इश्यूज है, शायद आपको वीडियो ब्लर दिख रहा होगा, बट ये एचडी में है। ठीक है, ये दिखता है।
So for the next strategy we're going to look at,
प्लीज
it's
आस्क
called
क्वेश्चन गाइस, अगर आपको समझना है तो आस्क क्वेश्चंस। HR sir, please understand what is actually say. मार्केट न्यूट्रल क्या होता है? बीइंग इन्वेस्टेड इन मल्टीपल एसेट मतलब मार्केट न्यूट्रल इन अटेम्प्ट टू अवॉइड और एलिमिनेट मार्केट रिस्क. Entering two position, one long and one short that have derivative from each other and derivative them. Okay.
market neutral mean reversion or pair trading. So pair trading is actually a very popular trading strategy in the professional trading environment. So most proprietary trading firms, hedge funds are going to be running some type of pair trading strategies. Pair trading has actually started in the 80s, and it was started by Morgan Stanley, or they were the ones who really made it popular in a way. But since the 80s, a bunch of other firms are starting doing it, and it makes a lot of sense. You'll see why in a bit here, but it's something.
Okay, I will be speaking English for you, as I can see that many people are commenting. Speaking English, okay. मेरा फर्स्ट टाइम है किस तरह ट्रेड लगाया जाता है. सर, फॉर एज अ बिगनर, you mean you actually need to understand कि first you have to go with the dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging is kind of a strategy that actually makes sense when it comes to a dollar pair. And then the strategy means you have to keep on investing or keep on depositing a particular currency to purchase that on investment as an investment on that particular currency. For example, if you have if you have purchased, sorry, a bit BTC, right? If you have purchased BTC, you have to keep a little bit amount there. Like what kind of amount? For example, if I've purchased 500, then I would definitely like try to deposit 500 at every equal intervals of a week. एक वीक में पर्टिकुलर इंटरवल्स में मैं आपको पैसे के पैसे देती जाऊंगी. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड डॉलर कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग. So dollar cost averaging is a strategy. Means you are not, और आपको 5 से 10% के बीच में ही you have to understand that you can incur the losses. You cannot go below 10%, you have to go with the 5%. ठीक है? That have deviated from each other, expecting that to revert back to the deviation mean. Okay?
I think that's very popular in the field, and ever since then, I've worked at multiple prop shops, and most of them.
What's wrong? You cannot hear me? आपको आवाज नहीं सुनाई दे रही मेरी? री मैम, आवाज आ रही है ना मेरी क्लियरली? BS राजपूत सर, मेरी आवाज क्लियर आ रही है? ऑडियंस प्लीज टेल मी ऑन द कमेंट सेक्शन, मेरी आवाज क्लियर आ रही है? Am I clear? Am I audible properly? Not get my WhatsApp number. It's a personal thing that we can't share.
Strategies very similar to this. You'll find a lot of professional traders do this. Why? Because market neutral strategies and mean reverting strategies make a lot of sense. For one, mean reversion. What does mean reversion mean? It means that things are coming back to their mean. It's not momentum. And what you'll realize if you trade for a long period of time is that most things don't have momentum. We all remember, or we all see, the Facebooks and the Amazons and the companies that really went in one direction, that had strong momentum. But we always forget all these other companies and coins or whatever that keep going up, down, and they're just reverting. The thing is, most of the time things just revert. Okay, 80% of the time the markets are in mean reversion. Only about 20% of the time are they in momentum. So mean reverting strategies tend to work often. Now, market neutrality, what does that mean? Well, market neutral means being invested in multiple assets in attempt to avoid or eliminate market risk, which we've looked at. This is often achieved by being long and short assets simultaneously. So a lot of firms, what they're going to do is that they're going to have half of their money go in long positions and the other half go in short positions. Why? Because they know that they cannot guess where the market is going to be going, right? All the time. So for example, if you have some long positions and some short positions, if the market is very, is moving sideways, you might make money on your longs and your shorts. If you bet on the right longs and on the right shorts. Now the problem occurs when there's a market crash. Well, if you only had long positions, all the long positions would lose. Now, if you have long and short positions, well, you will lose on your long, but you will make on your shorts. And that way you eliminate the risk of you losing all your money if there's a market crash. And it's the same thing if the market skyrockets. If you only had short positions, well, you would just lose. But if you have shorts and longs, well, you would lose on your shorts, but you would make on your long, eliminating again the market risk. And that is why firms implement market neutral strategies, because they're in for it for the long run. And if you're trading for 20 years, well, guess what? You're going to go through crashes and explosions. So what you want is to eliminate that market risk. So if something like this happens, you eliminate that risk away. This is why it's very popular. So then comes in the strategy that we call pair trading, which is basically a market neutral mean reversion strategy. How does that work? Okay, well, the way it works is we come off of the concept, our philosophy for running a strategy like this is basically we can't predict when the market is going to do these major moves. And that is something that almost everybody agrees on. We can predict specific currencies or specific stocks or specific products, but the global economy itself, the global market itself is hard to predict when there's going to be a huge move. So we want to eliminate that, okay? And the other thing we believe in is that when things diverge, they converge back, okay? So to do this, we find two positions. We enter two positions, one long and one short, that have deviated from each other, and we expect them to revert back to their mean. So for example, we take two currencies. Let's say ICX, or let's say, for example, we need two currencies that make sense, that are correlated, that move together. So for example, we take ICX and AON, okay? We take ICX and AON, okay? And why do we take ICX and AON? Well, because maybe we know that they are very correlated. And these two coins are actually very correlated. Why? Well, because there is some fundamental reasons behind that. Maybe the team is creating this other project. Maybe this coin uses the technology from this coin. Something makes it that they're very correlated. Okay. Now I'm not going to get into the fundamentals of these two, but it could be anything. It could be that one coin is actually generating the other coin. It might be that one coin is the gas of the other coin, so it's used. So there's some fundamentals behind it why they're very correlated. Or sometimes there's no real fundamentals, but if you find correlation without real fundamentals, it's not going to be as good as something that has a fundamental reason why they're correlated. So you take these two currencies, okay, and you look at their charts, and you see that when let's say ICX is going up, you see that AON, for some reason, is also going up, right? So that tells you they're correlated. Now what we're looking at two currencies like this that are moving together. And if they deviate from each other, let's say at one point this one goes up, but ICX, instead of going up, it actually goes down, right? And let's say we start looking at the historical difference between these two. Let's say their prices. Let's say when we started here, this one was trading at $5 and this one was trading at $10. And there was always a $5 difference between them. Okay? But maybe at this point, there was a $15 difference between them. You know, maybe this one was at $10 and this one was at 25. So looking at it like this, we kind of predict that, okay, these two currencies that are very correlated, that move together, have now deviated from each other. And if they deviated from each other, what we believe is going to happen is that they're going to converge back. Okay? So we expect them to converge back to one another. So what do? We're going to get into two different positions. Okay? We're going to get into a long position. We're going to buy this one, which is ICX. We're going to long. And we're going to go in this one, and we're going to short this one. Right? Because we expect this one to go up and this one to go down for them to converge back, right? And in this way, we have a market neutral position, because we're going to get into, 50, let's say we're investing 10,000, or we're trading 10,000, and we want to buy $5,000 worth of ICX, and we're going to short $5,000 worth of Aeon. So our net exposure to the market is going to be $0. We're not exposed. If the market goes up or goes down, we don't care, because half of our money is betting that the market goes down, half of our money is betting that the market goes up. So, we eliminate that market risk. We can sleep well at night without the fear of market crashing, okay? Now, a few things might happen. Well, one, the market could, the market could not do anything, okay? The market could stay flat. Now, if the market stays flat, what do you think is going to happen? Well, maybe these things did converge, and there is a high likelihood that they converge back. Maybe this one goes up a bit, this one goes down a bit, and we find ourselves at the usual $5 range between them. So they converge back. So we make some money, right? We make some money on both of them. But other things might happen. Maybe the market actually crashes, right? Maybe the market crashes. So if the market crashes, everything's going down, everything. So even ICX is going to drop. So maybe we lose $5 on ICX because it goes back to $5. But you know what's going to happen is Aeon is probably going to drop so much more. And since we're short, we're going to be making money on that. So maybe it drops about, I don't know, maybe it drops back to $15. Okay, so then it's at 10 and this one is at 5. They come back to where they started out at. So in this situation, if the market drops, we lose maybe $5 on one of them, and then we make 15 on the other, right? Because this one we're long, so when it drops, here, I'll put a plus here. This one we're long, so when it drops, we lose money, but this one we're short, so when it drops, we make money. So we lose some money on one of them, but we make more money on the other. So in the end, we make money, right? We make a little bit of money, not too much, but we make money. Now, what happens if the market doesn't drop and the market goes up? Well, in that situation, let's go back here. Well, in that situation, our short position, everything is going up. So our short position, we're going to lose money on it because it is going to go up. But our long position, since it's so undervalued compared to our long, it's probably going to go up faster. So for us to find each other at like that $5 range between them, that's usual. So yeah, if the market goes up, we are going to lose some money on our short position, but we're going to make way more money on our long position, right? So in the end, we are going to make money. So you see that in this situation, what we've done is we've made it that regardless of what the market does, we still generate some profit. Okay? And this is why this strategy is very popular, because all these firms, they don't want to go bankrupt if there's a huge market crash or if there's a huge market explosion. So they don't want to be exposed to any market direction. And that's why they are market neutral. And you'll see that if you research that, market neutrality is very popular. Why? Because it permits you to have stable returns. You know, if you look at your profit and loss, you'd rather make a little bit of money all of the time, you know, even if it's less money, than, you know, making a lot of money, a lot, you know, if, when the market goes up, and then if the market drops, losing a lot of money and have very volatile returns. And then if there's a huge market crash, you lose everything. And then we've seen how hard it is to come back from huge losses. So this is why market neutrality is very popular. So how do we really trade this, or how do we analyze this? We have a function, you know, if you read on pair trading, and there's actually a bunch of good writers on it. The one that I like is Ernie Chang. He actually has a few books. They're more technical, and some of them are automation type of books. But he actually was working at Morgan Stanley in the 80s. So if there's somebody to tell you about, you know, pair trading, I'd recommend this guy. So to analyze pair trading, there's a function we use, okay? And this function is going to be like this. It's going to be y equals, let me just get this on here. Y equals, and then you have your first coin, so I'll call it coin A, minus your second coin, which is coin B, times the ratio of these two coins, okay? Now, why is that? Because if I don't have a ratio and I just have coin A minus coin B, then in this situation, what I'm gonna have is basically here coin A, let's say ICX, let's say Aeon is coin A, because I put it as the most expensive. Let's say this is coin A, this is coin B, okay? So Aeon is at $10. So I'll go Y equals 10 minus 5, and then the pair is at 5. Now, the problem with this is if the prices go up, if both coins go up 100%, then I'll go, Aeon is going to be $20 and ICX is going to be $10. $20 minus $10 give us 10. So then we might think that, hey, they diverged, but they didn't actually diverge because both of them went up 100%. They're still the same, they went up similar prices. So what I need to do is I need to add a ratio to take into account the difference of price in pricing that they have. So in this situation, the ratio is the difference between, so this is A and B, is going to be the difference between A versus B. So I'll have to do A divided by B. So my function is going to be A, so coin A minus coin B, times the ratio, which is A divided by B. Okay, that's the ratio. So in our situation, what is the ratio? 10 divided by 5. So ratio equals 10 divided by 5, which is going to equal 2, right? So whenever I am calculating the pair function, which we call this the spreads, which don't get this confused with the spread between one coin. We call this the spread between the pair, so the two coins. It's sometimes confusing. So if you are market making, when you say the spread, it's just the difference between the bid and ask. But when you're pair trading, when you're talking about the spread, you are talking about the difference between the two coins. Okay. So in this situation, what I'll be doing is okay, well, the pair is going to be equal to 10 minus 5 times 2, which gives me 0. Now, if the prices go up by 100%, it'll be...
I think the pair trading strategy is so much like difficult or very indulging for you to understand. But मुझे लगता है कि let's have a look on the comment section, discuss about it. मैडम जी बराबर आवाज तो आ रही है, आप नंबर किसी को भी मत बताइए, लोग मैडम जी आपको फालतू परेशान करें। थैंक यू सर। ठीक है, तो लेट्स प्ले सम सॉन्ग्स, क्योंकि अभी बस 45 मिनट्स में आई एम गोइंग टू एंड द सेशन। लेट्स प्ले द सॉन्ग्स। कोई कमेंट है रीम मैम?
didn't think you'd understand me. How could you ever even try? I don't wanna tiptoe, but I don't wanna hide. But I don't wanna feed this monstrous fire. Just wanna let this story die, and I'll be alright. We can't be friends, but I'd like to just pretend. You cling to your papers and pens. Wait until you like me again. Wait for your love, love. I'll wait for your love. Me and my truth, we sit in silence. Baby girl, it's just me and you. 'Cause I don't wanna argue, but I don't wanna bite my tongue. Yeah, I think I'd rather die. You got me misunderstood, but at least I look this good. We can't be friends, but I'd like to just pretend. You cling to your papers and pens. Wait until you like me again. Wait for your love, love. I'll wait for your love. I'll wait for your love, love. I'll wait for your love. Know that you made me. I don't like how you paid me, yet I'm still here hanging. Know what you made me. It's something like a daydream, but I feel so seen in the night. Something now, it's only me, and maybe that's all I need. We can't be friends, but I'd like to just pretend. You cling to your papers and pens. Wait until you like me again. Wait for your love, love. I'll wait for your love. I'll wait for your love, love. I'll wait for your love.
मेरी जिंदगी का सफर खो गया है तू इस दिल से जब से जुदा हो गया है ना कोई प्यास है मेरी इन आँखों में ना कोई मंजिल है मेरी इन राहों में साथ दे रहा है बस मेरा ये आवारापन ओ ये आवारापन क्यों शोर में ढूंढता है ये दिल खालीपन ये आवारापन शहर आज वीरान है, हर खुशी खो गई, दर्द पहचान है, आज भी हर जगह ढूंढता है तुझको ही, खत्म होता नहीं दिल का ये पागलपन, ओ अपनी कहानी में है बस लिखा सुनापन, ये आवारापन, ये जिंदगी छोड़ दे मुझको हो जा खत्म, ये आवारापन, ये आवारापन। जब तक तुझे प्यार से बेइंतहा मैं भर ना दूं, जब तक मैं दुआओं सा 100 दफा तुझे पढ़ ना लूं, हाँ मेरे पास तुम रहो, जाने की बात ना करो, मेरे साथ तुम रहो, जाने की बात ना करो, ओ, 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 तुम आ गए बाजुओं में मेरे, 100 सवेरे लिए, 100 सवेरे लिए, हाँ बादलों से उतारा गया तुमको मेरे लिए, सिर्फ मेरे लिए, जब तक मेरी उंगलियां तेरे बालों से कुछ कह ना ले, जब तक तेरी लहर में ख्वाहिशें मेरी बह ना ले, हाँ मेरे पास तुम रहो, जाने की बात ना करो, मेरे साथ तुम रहो, जाने की बात ना करो, से निकलते ही कुछ दूर चलते ही रास्ते में है उसका घर। पहली दफा मैंने जब उसको देखा था सांसें गई ये ठहर, रहती है दिल में मेरे कैसे बताऊं उसे, मैं तो नहीं कह सका कोई बता दे उसे। घर से निकलते कुछ दूर चलते रास्ते में है उसका घर। उसकी गली में है ढली कितनी ही शामें मेरी, देखे कभी वो जो मुझे खुश हूँ मैं इतने नहीं। मैंने तरीके 100 आज़माए जाके उसे ना कुछ बोल पाए, बैठे रहे हम रात भर। जो पास जाता हूँ सब भूल जाता हूँ, मिलती है जब ये नजर। घर से निकलते कुछ दूर चलते रास्ते में है उसका घर। कल जो मिले वो राहों में तो मैं उसे रोक लूं, उसके दिल में क्या है छिपा एक बार मैं पूछ लूं। पर अब वहाँ वो रहती नहीं है, मैंने सुना है वो जा चुकी है। खाली पड़ा है ये शहर, मैं फिर भी जाता हूँ सब दोहराता हूँ, शायद मिले कुछ खबर। घर से निकलते कुछ दूर चलते रास्ते में है उसका घर। लोग बरसान के ये कहते हैं, प्रेम के वश में प्रभु रहते हैं। उन्हीं नैनों को दरस दे कैफियत पूछो, कभी तो कैफियत पूछो, तुम्हारे बिन दीवाने का क्या हाल है। दिल मेरा देखो ना, मेरी हैसियत पूछो, तेरे बिन एक दिन जैसे 100 साल है। अंजाम है तय मेरा, होना तुम्हें है मेरा, जितनी भी हो दूरियां फिलहाल हैं। ये दूरियां फिलहाल है। ओ खैरियत पूछो, कभी तो कैफियत पूछो, तुम्हारे बिन दीवाने का क्या हाल है। दिल मेरा देखो ना, मेरी हैसियत पूछो, तेरे बिन एक दिन जैसे 100 साल है। तुम्हारी तस्वीर के सहारे मौसम कई गुजारे, मौसमी ना समझो पर इश्क को हमारे, नजरों के सामने मैं आता नहीं तुम्हारे, मगर रहते हो हर पल मंजर में तुम हमारे। गर इश्क से है मिला, फिर दर्द से क्या गिला, इस दर्द में जिंदगी खुशहाल है। ये दूरियां फिलहाल है। ओ खैरियत पूछो, कभी तो कैफियत पूछो, तुम्हारे बिन दीवाने का क्या हाल है। दिल मेरा देखो ना, मेरी तुमसे हम जुदा ले चले सारे हम तेरे, खुश रहे यारा तू सदा, तुमसे भी ज्यादा होंगी अब यादें प्यारियां, हम दोनों की हैं अपनी अपनी लाचारियां, अब हंसते हंसते तुम पे ले खुशियां वारियां। मर्ज भी हैं देती, चैन भी हैं देती, दर्द भी हैं देती, जान भी हैं लेते यारियां। ना छोड़े यारियां, ना छोड़े यारियां, ना छोड़े यारियां। अब जीने को जाने को ना कोई रास्ता, तन्हाइयों से होगा अब दिल का वास्ता, हम खुद ही खुद को अब तो कर देंगे लापता। मान ले तू ऐसे हैं जरा भोले से, जानते हैं वैसे है निभानी कैसे यारियां। ना छोड़े यारियां, ना छोड़े यारियां, ना छोड़े यारियां, ना छोड़े यारियां।
यारे यारे हर कोई करना है, यारे यारे हर कोई हर
मेरी जिंदगी का सफर खो गया है, तू इस दिल से जब से जुदा हो गया है, ना कोई प्यास है मेरी इन आँखों में, ना कोई मंजिल है मेरी इन राहों में, साथ दे रहा है बस मेरा ये आवारापन, ओ ये आवारापन, क्यों शोर में ढूंढता है ये दिल खालीपन, ये आवारापन, ये आवारापन। अपनापन ओ अपनी कहानी में है बस लिखा सुनापन ये आवारापन ये आवारापन ऐ जिंदगी छोड़ दे मुझको हो जा खत्म ये आवारापन ये आवारापन
Okay, guys, any questions? Only 15 minutes remaining, then I'm going to end the session. थैंक यू री मैम, आपने बीडीसी का गिफ्ट पैक भेज दिया है। किसी को भी डिपॉजिट करना है तो प्लीज डिपॉजिट बैनर से क्लिक करके डिपॉजिट कर लीजिए। ओनली 10 मिनट्स रिमेनिंग। एंड मैं आपको कुछ बताना चाहती हूँ। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप लोग जो है वो ट्रेडिंग करते रहिएगा। आई मीन आप ऑफ कोर्स आप करेंगे करेंगे, बट अदर थिंग इज दैट कि जितने भी लोग एज अ बिगनर है, मैं उनकी बात कर रही हूँ। प्लीज़ आप लोग जो है वो प्लीज़ डॉलर कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग स्ट्रैटेजी को फॉलो करना। बिकॉज़ अगर आप सारे पैसे वन टाइम में डाल देंगे तो आपको बहुत ज़्यादा लॉस होने के चांसेस होते हैं, ठीक है? सेकंड इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज़ दैट कि आप लोग क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहना हर लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में। आपको जभी भी ट्रेड सिग्नल्स मिलेंगे उसको फॉलो करना, लेकिन अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि ये ऐसे क्यों होना चाहिए या ये वैसे क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए, तो प्लीज़ आप उस क्वेश्चन को पूछते रहिए। बिकॉज़ अगर आप क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे तभी वो लोग आपको आंसर देंगे, होस्ट आपको आंसर देंगे एंड उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आप अपना माइंड जो है डिसीजन मेकिंग के लिए तैयार कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? सेकंड एंड थर्ड इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट गाइस प्लीज लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग भी आप अटेंड करें, पर उससे भी हटके अपनी खुद की भी तैयारियां करें। क्या होगी आपकी तैयारी? खुद से कॉइन डेस्क में न्यूज़ पढ़ना, खुद से रिसर्च करना। बी अ रिसर्चर, बी अ पर्सन हु एक्चुअली इंटरेस्टेड, हु एक्चुअली गेट्स इंटरेस्टेड व्हेन इट कम्स टू अ ट्रेडिंग टॉपिक। तो ट्रेडिंग में करने के लिए आपको इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए। तो प्लीज़ आप इंटरेस्टेड रहना, ट्रेड करते रहना। And please learn from different sources, use different sources for yourself and for your trading journey, ठीक है? Hello Pablo sir. Last 10 minutes, if anyone wants to open an account using my deposit banner, please guys just like click on the deposit banner and open your account. मैम कोई questions comments हैं वहाँ पे?
सॉरी, क्या कहा आपने?
कोई queries है, कोई question, कोई comment है?
हाँ, लेकिन ये करने क्या ठीक है, hello, ठीक है। टेबल से का क्वेश्चन है, क्या क्वेश्चन मैम? ईटीएच का लिटिल आइडिया प्लीज। तो आपको ऑलरेडी बता दिया है ना। नंबर शेयर मत कीजिए गाइस। लास्ट यही क्वेश्चन है एक्चुअली ईटीएच के बारे में, अदरवाइज तो कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं।
ठीक है। ईटीएच के बारे में जो है वो काइंड ऑफ इथेरियम, इथेरियम भी बिटकॉइन अगर बाय करना है तो इथेरियम भी बाय करना ही होगा, ठीक है? तो इथेरियम बाय कर लीजिए अगर आप बिटकॉइन बाय कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमेशा याद रखना कि Bitcoin and Ethereum are similar. Similarly, they work like simultaneously एक जैसा. तो अगर Bitcoin ऊपर जाता है तो Ethereum भी ऊपर जाता है guys, okay?
हेलो डेविल सर, हेलो, आई एम गुड, थैंक्स फॉर आस्किंग। आप बताइए सर, आप कैसे हो? अभी लाइव में मुझे आप नहीं शो होते हो, बट यस यहाँ पर आप शो हैं, तो उसके लिए थैंक यू। बताइए कैसे चल रहा है सर आपका? बाकी गाइस, अगर इसके बाद आपको कोई इशू आता है तो आप मुझे प्राइवेट चैट में बता देना, ठीक है?
Yes.
मैं एक्टिव रहती हूँ, बट यस अगर आपको कोई भी इशू आता है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं।
This is actually my 103rd session. The ending session is 103. So I have completed more than 100 session, I think. And at last, ओके, सो आई वांटेड टू से दैट कि प्लीज़ गाइस आप लोग जो है वो रीम मैम से कनेक्टेड रहना उनके लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में। उनको कोई भी आपको लाइक रिलेटेड टू एनी डिपॉजिट्स तो वो आपके क्लियर फटाफट करवा देती है। शी इज़ वेरी एक्टिव एंड वो लाइक 24 आवर्स काम करती हैं, 12 12 आवर्स 24 आवर्स, तो वो आपके सारे डिपॉजिट ईजिली क्लियर करवाएंगी। तो कोई भी क्वेरीज आती है पेमेंट में तो आप रीम मैम से कनेक्टेड रह सकते हैं आगे, ठीक है? एंड अदर देन दैट प्लीज़ गाइस, आप डेमो अकाउंट में भी ट्राई करें। डेमो अकाउंट से प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस गेन कर लीजिए, उसके बाद फिर आप रियल अकाउंट भी ओपन कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? एनी क्वेश्चंस, एनी क्वेरीज? बिकॉज अभी मुझे गाने प्ले करने का मन नहीं है, तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप क्वेश्चंस पूछें एंड फिर आप हम इस सेशन को लाइक एंड कर देंगे। नेक्स्ट वीक जो है वो मेरा नहीं होगा सेशन, क्योंकि नेक्स्ट वीक से न्यू मंथ शुरू होता है। सो दिस गोइंग टू बी द लास्ट सेशन, ओके? डिपॉजिट करते रहिए। डिपॉजिट्स आपके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है, आपके अकाउंट में ऐड अप होंगे। वो सारे डिपॉजिट आपके लिए ही होते हैं। कोई भी डिपॉजिट हमारे बैनर या हमें क्रेडिट करने के लिए नहीं होते हैं। तो प्लीज़ आप डिपॉजिट करते रहना, ओके? एंड बस लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग के अलावा भी अदर रिसोर्सेज ऑल्सो यूज इट फॉर योर ट्रेडिंग एंड just keep on trading. Importance is consistency, importance is your dedication, important is your interest and your strategy, ठीक है? And yes, Rajpur sir, thank you so much for being interactive with me throughout the sessions. कितने भी sessions हमने किए, you were very interactive. And Reem ma'am, thank you so much for being a good and amazing co-host with me.
We're gonna miss you,
Yeah,
Shubhi, but
thank you.
yes, best of luck for
Thank you,
future.
ma'am. थैंक यू री मैम। एंड मैंने बहुत मज़े किए आपके साथ भी। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा आपके साथ काम करके।
यस गाइस, लास्ट थैंक्स बनता है शुभि मैम को, तो आप सभी उन्हें थैंक्स कीजिए दैट कि उन्होंने इतनी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके साथ शेयर किया है और इतनी हेल्पफुल रही है वो। सैटरडे संडे वीकेंड उधर स्टिल वो आपके लिए इतनी अमेजिंग इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करती हैं, तो आप सभी उन्हें थैंक्स बोलिए, ठीक है? एंड वी ऑल नो दैट कि ये लास्ट है, राइट? मीन्स मैम के लास्ट सेशन है, बट यस आप जो भी इन्होंने इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको शेयर किया है वो आप मेक श्योर कीजिएगा दैट यू हैव टू बी इन योर माइंड। यस, बट इन फ्यूचर अगर आपको इसके बाद कोई भी इशू आता है देन यू मे प्लीज कनेक्ट विद मी, ठीक है? मैं आपकी हेल्प करने की पूरी ट्राई करूंगी,
राइट।
ओके?
और कभी कोई लिंक्स भी हुए जिससे मुझे लगे कि आई कैन शेयर विथ यू, तो मैं रीम मैम को सेंड कर दूंगी। वो आपको सेंड कर देंगे तो आप वीडियोस भी देख सकते हैं।
या एग्जैक्टली। थैंक यू सो मच, ठीक है,
ठीक है।
कीजिएगा।
तो गाइस 5 मिनट्स है, क्योंकि मैंने लेट सेशन स्टार्ट किया है, तो मैं 5 मिनट्स को पूरा यूज़ करना चाहती हूँ, ओके? एंड आप लोग बीडीसी कॉइन्स के लिए प्लीज़ आंसर देना, इंटरैक्टिव होते रहिए। मैंने बाकी के भी सेशंस देखे, आप लोग इंटरैक्शन कम करते हैं, तो प्लीज़ इंटरैक्शंस करिए एंड प्लीज़ कमेंट्स करें। आपके कमेंट्स करेंगे तो होस्ट को अच्छे से समझ में आएगा कि क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, राइट? तो प्लीज़ अंडरस्टैंड दिस एंड यस, मेंटेन द डेकोरम एवरीथिंग। कोई भी अब्यूज मत कीजिए। फोटोज तो आप भेज नहीं सकते। अच्छे काम के क्वेश्चंस पूछे, ग्रुप पे ऐड होके प्लीज आस्क गुड क्वेश्चंस एंड ऑलवेज रिस्पेक्ट द होस्ट एंड द को होस्ट ऑल्सो। एंड प्लीज पेमेंट में कभी भी आपको डाउट होता है तो प्लीज क्वेरी आपने उठाइए, क्वेश्चंस उठाइए कि पेमेंट क्यों नहीं हो रहा है या क्यों अकाउंट में नहीं आ रहा है। ये सारी चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना है एंड वो आपको को होस्ट हेल्प करेंगे एंड आप हेल्प सेंटर से भी बात कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? ओके, कोई क्वेश्चंस तो नहीं आ रहे, इसलिए मैं बोल रही हूँ आप लोग प्लीज इंटरेक्शन करें। इंटरेक्शन नहीं करेंगे ना तो कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला है, वो बोरिंग सेशंस होंगे। इंटरेक्शन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। कोई भी चीज़ पे, कोई भी जगह पे यू हैव टू बी इंटरेक्टिव। आपको बात करनी होती है, सुनना पड़ता है। यू हैव टू बी अ गुड लिसनर, ठीक है? तभी आपको आंसर्स मिलेंगे, तभी आपको कुछ ना कुछ सोचेगा। व्हेन यू लिसन यू, व्हेन यू सी और लिसन बोथ ऑफ द थिंग्स एट द सेम टाइम, तो आपको दिमाग में से कुछ ना कुछ परसेप्शंस तैयार होते हैं। तो दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज अ ट्रेडर ऑल्सो, ठीक है?
पीडी से अभी सिर्फ क्रिप्टो ओपन है, बाकी सभी मार्केट क्लोज है। क्रिप्टो ओपन रहता है।
हम्म।
हाय मैम, ये रियल है, एक रियल ऐप है सर।
रियल ऐप?
बीएस राजपूत सर ने ओके, और कुछ पूछना है आपको तो आप पूछ लीजिए।
लास्ट क्लास के सेशन में आई ऑलवेज थिंक कि आपको मैंने सारे लेक्चर्स बता दिए हैं, सारी स्ट्रैटेजी शेयर कर दी है। इतने लेक्चर्स मैंने शेयर किए, लिटरली 15 से 20 लेक्चर्स मैंने आपके साथ शेयर किए। अलग अलग एक्सपर्ट्स ऑफ अमेरिका और इन ट्रेडिंग, एक्सपर्ट्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट कंट्रीज मैंने आपको शेयर कर दिए हैं। मैं मुझे लगता है कि मैं अगर इतने लेक्चर्स करती तो मैं एक्सपर्ट क्रिप्टो ट्रेडर बन जाती। तो आई वुड डेफिनेटली, मैं इसमें ट्राई करूंगी कि मैं भी सीखूंगी आपके साथ साथ, बट आपके साथ मतलब इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे नहीं, बट लर्निंग इज ऑलवेज बेटर। तो क्रिप्टो के बारे में जितनी नॉलेज ली उतनी कम होती है। एवरी डे वी हैव टू वर्क हार्ड, एवरी डे वी हैव टू थिंक कि आज हमें क्या, कितना परसेंट में प्रॉफिट कमाना है, कितने परसेंट में नहीं कमाना है। तो ये लेक्चर्स इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। मैंने थर्ड पार्टी से रिसोर्स ट्राई किया और अच्छा हुआ कि इस ऐप के थ्रू मैं आपके साथ यूडेमी शेयर कर पाई। थर्ड इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज़ दैट कि आप लोग भी डिफरेंट रिसोर्सेज यूज़ कर सकते हैं। चाहिए तो यूडेमी का कोर्स परचेज कर सकते हैं। एंड ये मुझे कोई इसमें लाइक आई एम नॉट एंडोर्सिंग एनीथिंग, मुझे कोई भी फ़ायदा नहीं है, बट इट्स रियली फॉर लाइक योर कन्वीनियंस, क्योंकि मैं यूडेमी पर्सनली यूज़ करती हूँ। कॉर्सेरा भी है, बट कॉर्सेरा इज वेरी डीप इन डेप्थ नॉलेज देता है। एंड फॉर यू गाइस, इफ यू वांट अ सीरीज ऑफ अ वन कोर्स, तो आप यूडेमी यूज कर सकते हैं, ओके? और यूट्यूब पे काफ़ी चैनल्स है क्रिप्टो के बारे में, पर डे बताते हैं। न्यूज़ बहुत कॉइनडेस्क के लिए यूज़ कीजिए, ट्रेड सिग्नल्स के लिए लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग्स है, अकाउंट ओपन करने के लिए हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म है। डू इट एंड एंजॉय एवरीवन, ओके? So thank you so much. I really grateful to be a part of this app and this live streaming. And thank you so much everyone जिनने भी मेरे साथ लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग अटेंड की, आप लोगों का सैटरडे संडेज को बेस्ट बनाने के लिए। एंड थैंक यू री मैम, अगेन आपने भी बहुत हेल्प की। एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो ठीक है, कोई क्वेरीज नहीं है अभी तो, लेकिन आप लोग जो है
संभावना सर, अगर आप पेमेंट नहीं कर पाते हो ना, कोई इशू आता है, तो मैंने ना आपको बैनर शेयर किया है प्राइवेट चैट में, ठीक है? तो आप वहां से डिपॉजिट कर सकते हो। इन बिटवीन अगर आपको उसमें कोई इशू आता है ना, तो आप मुझे बता देना, मैं क्लियर करा दूँ, ठीक है? मैम आई एम योर बिग फैन, थैंक यू। कल कौन सा मार्केट ओपन रहेगा? सभी मार्केट ओपन रहेगा, मंडे टू फ्राइडे। सैटरडे संडे क्रिप्टो रहते हैं सर। जिसमें विड्रॉ, हाँ होता है सर, विड्रॉल में कोई इशू नहीं आता है गाइस, नो नीड टू वरी। ठीक है, टाइम हो गया।
विड्रॉल में कोई इशू नहीं आता है, ठीक है? कोई प्लेटफॉर्म फी शायद डिडक्ट होती है, बट इट्स नॉट कंफर्म।
वो मेंशन रहता है इस पे।
हाँ, यस, ठीक है। ओनली 1 minute टू गो। आई थिंक आई शुड स्टॉप शेयरिंग द स्क्रीन, ओके? So, guys, all the best for your trading journey. Enjoy well, do well, and always attend the live streaming of different hosts because you never know what you get to learn different and new things in this from in BTC Dana. So, all the best and happy trading and bye bye. Take care, everyone of you. Have a good health. Thank you, Reem ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shubhi. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you need it, then message me anytime. Okay.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Reem ma'am. Thank you. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Happy
Happy
Sunday.
weekend. Yep. Bye.